Hey, what's up, folks? Hang on a second. Is this? Yep, everything's working. All right, moving on. What's happening? All right, no, mic is fine. What, 11 doesn't get a checkup?
마스터의 수석 조수이자 세심하고 배려심 깊은 종합 인공지능.
페어리는 정말 매 순간 수석 조수 자리에 집착하는구나. 대체 언제쯤 내가 벨의 유일무이한 혈육이란...
자, 다들 그만. 지금의 나는 그저 불쌍하게 갇혀있는 로프꾼이지만
부정. 불쌍하게 갇혀 있으시긴 하지만 마스터는 여전히
쓸데없는 위로는 집어치워. 수석 조수, 다행히 방위군의 전파 방해 정도야 식은 죽 먹기지.
교란 신호를 방지하는 코딩 작업은
그러니까 넌 HDD를 통해서 나랑 연락할 수 있고.
누나네 HDD 이식체가 공동 안에서 새로운 데이터를 목격했어.
My
해당
eyes.
데이터 구매 정보와 자료를 완전히 신뢰할 수 있는지는
Only the
모르겠지만
eyes see the
페어의
truth.
계산은 믿을 수 있으니까.
긍정. 그리고 이아스와 마스터가 목격한
이런 제멋대로인 AI 같으니 혹시라도 방위군이 찾아오면 조수 이유랑 마스터는 무관하다고 말해야 해. 어쨌든 뒷일은 나랑 페어리.
공동에서의 위협은 나랑 오벌로스 소대에게 맡겨.
방위군의 작전은 분명 위험할 거야.
Easy.
모두 주의하라. 3시 방향 300m 앞. 뭔가 이상해. 다들 저기 좀 봐. 미친 사람들이 어째서 저들이 무기. 적습니다. 반격하라. 3시 방향. 아니야. 저들은 미알자마에서 튀어나왔어. 아니, 그게 말이 돼? 여기든 여기든 상관. 보고 사상자가 우측에서 새로운 적이 접근 중이다. 역시 교주님의 말씀이 맞았군요. 지금
형제님. 광란의 기쁨이 형제님의 두 눈을 가리게 두시면 안 됩니다.
걱정하지 마세요. 열렬한 기쁨은 제2성급 대규모 미아즈마 활성화 실험은 이미 시작되었어요.
Interesting.
칭송회가 우리가 전면적 지금까지 수행한 작전 중에서 직접적인 무력 충돌이 있었던 것. 하지만 작전은 완벽했고 계획의 정보는 새어나가지 않았어. 그러니 칭송회의 예리함이
하지만 로렌츠 소장은 이번 작전의 총지휘.
더 높은 곳에서 끼어들었을 가능성을 배제한다면
그래.
이졸드 대령님이 겪고 계신 까다로운 상사 문제는 저보다 훨씬 더
오피, 혹시
일이 이렇게 된 이상 이제 와서 내가 소장님과 싸워봤자
기습 작전을 순조롭게 진행하려면 더 빠르게 움직여야겠군요.
항상 도깨비 불에게 무모한 면이 있다고 생각해서 빠르기는 바람같이 침략에 있어선 불과 같이 예측이 어렵기는 그림자같이 적들이 우리의 행동을 예상하고 있는 만큼 이 기회를
오볼러스, 무장 준비.
도끼비불 대장!
지금 당장 부대를 파견해 공격을 준비해야겠네. 이번에는 우리 쪽의 준비가 부족해. 전장에서의 변화는 흑유석
오키도키.
전설의 로프꾼이라는 명성 여러분도 시민들의 방위를 향한
네가
대장의 말은 오볼로스.
It's too bad they only let you use trial builds rather than your own. But at the same time, it works. Gives players an idea on how to use the new characters. Although that's not the case here since I already have the characters. Whichever, whatever works though.
이졸드님의 계획이 없던 부대 배치 전환 때문에 칭송회의 핵심 인물들을 눈앞에서 놓치는 걸 사전에 방지한.
저희가 현재 입수한 정보에 따르면 이번 분위기를 망치고 싶진 않지만 지금까지 겪어본 경험으로 봤을 때 칭송이 녀석
로프꾼, 네가 정보전에 강한 건 알겠지만 지금까지 걱정하는 건 이해하지만 이졸드님
도끼비불 대장, 도끼비불 대장과 이졸드님은 사실
엄밀히 따지자면 어깨를 하지만 맞아. 이졸드님은 내가 오래전부터 알고 심지어 이 오볼로스 소대도 이졸드님조차 믿을 수 없다면 이 흑요석 부대에 내가
이해했어요. 여러분, 전 로프꾼으로서 여러분을 올바른 길로 인도할 거예요.
방위군 놈들이 여기까지 왔군. 아니, 누구냐? 아련을 방해하는 어리석은 녀석들. 창조주님께서 그들을 용서하지 않으실 거다. 우리의 희생은 창조주님의 귀환을 위한 길이 될 것이다.
저희가 어머할게요. 아직 안 끝났어.
너희들은 어느 부대 소속이지? 이졸드님을 배치했다.
이 부대 대령이 이번 작전의 지휘관이긴 하지만
그러니까 이졸드 씨의 계획에서 벗어난 무단 행동이
언행에 주의하시지요. 소장님께서는 여러분들로서는 버거울까 싶어.
저희를 지원한다고요?
맞습니다. 감사하단 말씀을 드려야겠군요. 여러분이 정면에서 칭송회의 화력을 끌어내지 않았다면 이런 그 점은 정말 죄송하게 되었습니다.
공모? 그런 건 아무래도
상관없더라. 제가 신병인 건 맞지만 적어도
조용히 하세요. 대장은
괜찮아 오피. 이들이 칭송의 위협을 제거했다면 류일이
전우중에는 정말 그는 이 녀석을 끌고 가서 칭송이와의 전투에
그게 무슨
정신 차려 병사. 내 질문에 대답한다.
많은 전도사가 혼란을 틈타 도망쳤습니다. 저희는 다른 임무도 있어서 급히 거점
다른 임무라고요? 칭송
멍청하기 짝이었군. 오볼로스. 이 멍청한 오볼로스.
네, 도깨비불 대장. 칭송의 멤버들이 사방으로 도망치고 있어요.
이놈들이 도망치는 것만큼은 있는데 이런 기습이 과연 기습이라고 할 수는 있을까? 이번 임무의 목표는 이미 절반은 실패한 셈이네.
Excuse me.
정해타기 발견.
정의병이라고? 오볼로스 소대 보면 그 정도는 돼야지.
타기 고정. 미안, 힘 조절을 잘 못할지도 몰라. 작전 투성이군요. 전투기 행동에서 만든 거지.
모든 게 순조롭게 진행 중입니다. 루크.
Ew, what kind of
이번에도 잘
shirt is that?
부탁드리겠습니다.
Polka dots pattern. Already looking sketchy though.
소장님, 왜 직접 공동에 오시?
자네들은 이졸대가 강력하게 추천. 정말 뜻밖의 손님이군. 내 예상
이번 작전의 총책임 자신이 이런 때에는 후방에 계셔야 하는 거.
루크로시죠? 프로셀르맥스의 안전조사
안전 조사에도 연애가 필요한.
말주변이 없는 이 총은 일단 연회에서 절 보셨다고요? 게다가 흑요석 부대의 작전에도 참여하시는 걸 보니
그런 게 아닙니다, 루크로시. 이 아가씨는 시장님이 보낸 특.
저는 그저 제 소임을 다할 뿐인 걸.
아, 시청에서 오신 귀빈이셨군요.
그래서 소장님과 루크로 씨가 왜 여기 있는 거죠?
나와 내 부대에겐 자네는 베테랑 군인이잖아. 도깨비불 대장. 월권이 뭔지는 모른다 쳐도 입단속 잘해. 그 입을 제외하곤 남은 것도.
소장님, 이만 슬슬 움직여야 하지 않을까요?
맞는 말씀입니다.
Sus.
특별 군무소속 창구에 그 짜증나는 직원 말고 또 죄송해요. 도깨비불 대장.
이번만은 특별히 봐주지. 너희 모두가 군사재판에 넘겨질까 꺼려지지만 않았어도.
이곳은 칭송회의 중요 거점이자 중요한 실험. 포르셀로맥스의 또 다른 집행관이 칭송회와 결탁했기 때문. 그리고 루크로시가 이끄는 포르셀로맥스는 현재 방위.
듣기만 해도 시스템이 다운될 것 같네. 그냥 또 둘이.
세상에, 로렌치 소장님은 정말 나쁜 사람이네요. 오피는 아직도 세상에는 착한 사람과 나쁜 사람.
세상에. 오피대원 정말 그 둘이 공동에서 만난 이유는 아마도 다른 사람의 눈을 피하기 위해서의. 대원들
네, 도깨비불 대장.
Ew. Those were some interesting pair of wings, if I do say so myself. Still the worst dress shirt I've ever seen.
제군들, 와이페이 반도를 위협하던 재앙 칭송회는 우리의 손에 섬멸되었다.
Feels like a premature celebration.
우리는 다시 한번 뉴에리두 시민들에게 정의와 승리를 환호하라, 병사들이.
Especially the fact earlier in the video surveillance, some soldiers were gunned down easily.
우리의 현명하신 노란츠 소장님을 위해 환호하라!
제가 원래 분위기를 깨는 성격은 아니지만 지금 승리 저분은 환호성을 정말 좋아하시는군요. 아주 전형적인 거물상.
로프꾼 말이 맞아. 지금도 공동 안팎으로 칭송회 잔당들이 도망치고 있는 데다 도시 내 옵스키라는 여전히 조사 중이.
게다가 칭송회의 핵심 간부들은 아직 못 잡은 걸로 아는데요. 매번 마주칠 때마다 온종 네보라크가 의원 사부님의 손에 중상을 입고 칭송회 녀석들은 번번이 큰 피해를 입었는데도 칭송회가 멈출 기미가 안 보여요. 미야즈마도 계속 확산되고 있고요. 아마
의견이라면 그 온규선의 문주 말인가.
그나저나 이졸대 대령님은요? 작전 지휘관으로
이졸대님은 요즘 몸 상태가 영 좋지 않으셔서 도심으로 요양을 가셨다.
이졸대님도 로프꾸님처럼 이런 자리를 별로 안 좋아.
그럴지도. 그래도 우리가 칭송회에 큰 타격을 준 건 사실이야. 생사의 갈림길에서 싸운.
엄격한 도깨비불 대장이 그런.
그냥 내가 위로하는 방식이라고 생각해. 군인인 이상 우리는 아무리 걸리는 게 있어도 멋대로 조사를 하러 갈 순 없지.
무단으로 움직였다간 군사 재판에 넘겨질걸? 시드는 아무래도 상관없지만 빅시드는 우리를 저도 여러분이 군사 재판에 회부되는 건 원치 않아.
아, 그리고 훈련 때문에 정식으로 작전이 종료되기 전까지는 소장의 제안 명령을 따라야 할 것 같아.
알겠어요. 오볼로스 소대든 다른 병사분들이든 뉴에리도를 위해 얼마나 많은 노력을 해주셨는지 알아요. 그러니 부디 힘들게 얻은 승리를 편하게 즐겨주세요.
고마워, 로프꾼.
Oh, hello.
루크로님이 직접 공동에 가신 일과 그 소장님 포르셀룸 X와 칭송의 포르셀룸 재고를 옮기는 한편 그들은 페룩스 밑에서 일했던 핵심 쓸모를 다한 탓에 버림받은 거죠. 일이 마무리되기 전인데도 말입니다. 악덕 사장보다 더 잔인한 건 탑스에서 저를 받아줄 리는 없고 방위군은 저 같은 떠돌이 개
페록스를 무너뜨리는데 큰 공을 세웠잖아요.
맞습니다. 저는 당신처럼 고기만 봤다 하면 달려드는 떠돌이 개가 싫습니다. 솔직히 말하자면 전 웅규상과 당신에게 도움을 청할 생각이었어요. 입장이 어떻든 간에 와이페이 반도에서 가장 정의로 어차피 저 같은 떠돌이 개는
공교롭게도 저도 다미안 씨와 별반 다르지 않아요. 자유의 제안을 하지만 다미안 씨...
괜찮습니다. 한참 고민하던 차에
Oh, hello.
다미안 씨의 구세주랍니다. 정말 신기하지 않나요? 기업의 직원들은 보통 저를 재앙의 별 취급하는데 이렇게 구세주라 불릴 날이 올지.
이분은 탑스의 자오님입니다. 크람푸스의 검은 가지 소속이시죠.
안녕하세요, 자오 씨. 근데 크람푸스의 검은 가지는 생소하게 느껴지는 게 당연해요. 검은 가지는 어떤 기업에 심사하고 판결하고 잔혹한 경쟁은 시장 구조가 지닌 필연적인 원죄예요. 원탁 위의 구성은 하지만 모든 것은 기업과 관리자의 모든 행위가 재정연합의 게임 규칙과 근본적인 이익에 부합한다는 전제 조건 하에만 성립. 비즈니스 게임은 우리가 늘 규칙을 따르는 것을 허락하지 않아요. 이건 원탁의 자비죠. 하지만 규칙을 어기는 아이들이 이번에 포르셀룸엑스는 규칙을 과하게 벗어났어요. 검은 가지의 멤버들이 기억하지만 규칙을 수호하는 사람들이 있기에 탑스가 도시의
이제 제가 왜 자오님을 구세주라 말했는지 아시겠죠?
당신의 구세주가 될지 재앙이 될지는 아마 모든
뭐가 됐든 루크로 같은 사람의 도마위 생선
저희가 친구라고는 할 수 없지만 다미안 씨는 이 잔인한 게임의 생존자가 되길 원하면서 예리하고 예쁜 눈을 당신이 검은 가지의 적이 되지 않았으면 좋겠네요. 당신의 눈이 다시 저를 바라볼 때 적일과 담기지 않길 바랄게요.
Interesting. Another faction encounter.
오피대원? 오피대원? 두 분이군요. 로프꾸님도 공범이었다니. 억울해. 난 두 분이 널 도깨비불 언니가 자고 있어요.
대장의 자가점검 시간인가요?
오피는 대장의 휴식 시간을 방해하는 게 싫은 걸까? 있습니다. 우선 대장을 걱정하는 제 마음은 진심이에요. 그리고 행군 지침서에는 레몬맛 감자칩이 주둔시 금지식품 목록에 포함되어 있지 않거든요. 저에겐 도깨비불 대장이 아자류를 일방적으로 금지품으로 지정한 것에 대해 이의를 신청할 권리가 있어요.
Is that what she's doing?
그럼 어째서 오피는 대장이 깨어있을 때 이의를...
오피에게 뭔가 계획이 있는 모양이네요.
아무튼 우리가 대장에게 말하지 않길
레몬맛 감자칩 나눠 먹어요.
시드랑 트리거에게 또 뺏기다니.
Oh, that's the real attention.
야간 특별작전 회의의 관례 중 하나잖아.
함께라면 대장의 규칙을 어겨도 무섭지 않을 거예요. 오피.
로프꾸님도 함께해요. 레몬맛 감자칩 서탕 작전이.
Lemon flavored chips. That is a very interesting flavor.
로프꾸님, 드릴 말씀이 있어요. 한번 맞아요. 작전 중에 하지만 대장... 난 오피를 믿어. 마치 오피가 도깨비불 대장을 믿는 것처럼. 그나저나 병사와 스마트 무기 구조체라. 스마트 구조체요? 로프꾸님, 방금 말했잖아. 내가 도깨비불 대장을 믿는 것처럼. 저는 그저 총을 든 자일 뿐이에요. 도깨비불 대장을 보조하기 위해 오피, 또 너 자신을 낮추고 있군. 넌 특별하고 세상에 단 하나뿐인 존재. 도깨비불 대장과 다른 대원분들이 계셨다면 아마 이렇게 말씀하시면서 절 위로해 주셨을 거예요. 하지만 알아요. 전 특별한 존재가 아니에요. 전 태어날 때부터 총 11년 전의 재난으로 에리두는 너무나 많은 방위군의 유일한 보석, 흑요석 부대도 그때 군내에서는 다양한 계획들이 탄생했어요. 개조된 병사들, 잔인하다고 생각하시나요? 하지만 만약 이런 잔인한... 저도 그때 태어났어요. 전설적인 병사의 클론으로서. 그 전설적인 존재의 코드네임이 바로 그분의 육신은 파괴됐어요. 지금 무기에 깃들어 있는 건 그분의 의식 또는 백업된 영혼이라고 할 수 있죠. 몸이 죽었음에도 계속해서 방위군의 무기로서 휘둘려야 해요. 도깨비불 대장은 사실 전 엄청 운이 좋은 편이에요. 하지만 도깨비불 대장은 전혀 개의치 않았어요. 오피, 내 인생은 정말 재미없었어. 그러니 동료들의 눈빛에는 늘 동정이나 연민, 조롱이나 혐오가 담겨있다는 걸 알아요. 하지만 그래도 전 제가 정말 운이 좋다고 생각해요. 도깨비불 대장도 만났고 오볼로스의 모두도 만났잖아요. 게다가 로프꾸님처럼 재미있고 대단한 분도 만났고요. 저의 탄생이 그다지 특별하지 않다는 걸 알아요. 하지만 그들은, 여러분은 늘 저에게 말해주시죠. 그 차가운 유리 캡슐들과 맛없는 영양제들, 또 동정이나 연민, 비웃음이나 혐오가 담긴 시선들이 제가 특별하지 않다는 걸 증명해주고 있어요. 하지만 그럼에도 여러분은 끊임없이 제게 말해줘요. 너 유리 캡슐은 아무래도 상관없어요. 그보다 전 여러분의 기대를 저버리고 싶지 않아요. 차가운 유리 캡슐보다는 따뜻한 도깨비불 대장이 더 좋아요. 시끌벅적한 우리를 말해주는 건 우리의 과거가 아니에요. 저도 도깨비불 대장도 마찬가지죠. 도깨비불 대장이 악의적으로 로프꾸님을 악당이라고 말씀하시곤 하지만 사실 우리를 말해주는 건 우리의 과거가 아니에요. 그리고 로프꾸님 당신이 우리를 올바른 길로 이끌어주실 거잖아요. 로프꾸님, 전 당신을 믿어요.
Definitely the best way to put it. But interesting. Sounds familiar. It's kind of like how the clone in Star Wars, the clone troopers are clones of the original. Who is it? Jango Fett.
페어리, 렘니안에서 에테르가 가장 활발한
긍정. HDD 데이...
드디어 연결됐네. 정확한 좌표는 확인됐으니까.
부장, 로렌츠 씨 부대의 작전이 중단되는 바람에 의원 사부님께 메시지 좀 보내줄래? 아니, 복복사자한테 보내는 게 좋겠다. 의원 사부님은 잘 답장을 안 해주시거든. 사메에게 여러분의 도움이 필요해. 매우 중대한 사안이니 의원...
여러분의 가엾은 사매가 방위군에게 비인간적인 고문을 받고 있어. 사태가 매우 심각하니
너무 과한 거 아니야?
와이페이 반도에 안위가 걸린 일이니까 조금...
이제 옹규산의 선배들이 빨리 시간 없으니까 난 먼저
Bird.
방금 꿈을 꾼 것 같은데 지금 여긴 꿈속인가요?
제자야. 불쌍한 우리 막내가 방위군에게 비인간적인 고문을 그리고 방위군이랑 싸워선 안 되고
맞아요. 사내의 혈육이 직접
참고로 그
감히 우리 막내를 괴롭히다니 이대로 넘어갈 순 없지.
어딜 가서 따지려는 건데? 네 사매를 봐. 좀 어지러워하는 것 같긴 해도
그나저나 방금
정신을 좀 차린 모양이네.
사내의 안위가 가장 중요하긴 하지만 사내가 급하게 저희에게 연락한 뒤
이제 말해보세요, 사매님. 대체 무슨 일을 겪었...
맞아. 사형도 사조도 다
교활한 토끼는 세계의 숨을
방위군이 손 쓸 수 없는 악당 언제 출발할까요, 사부님?
서두를 거 없어. 일단 사매를 좀 쉬게 해주지.
여기 있는 거 다 알아.
오밤중에 그냥간에 무단으로 침입한 자가 누군가 했더니 칭파이 하이츠가 현재 군의 통제하에 있긴 해도 민가에는 함부로 드나 그 중에서도 나의 그냥과는 더더욱
뭐라는 거야?
저분의 말은 대장이 한밤중에 남의 집에 멋대로 들어와서 소란을 피웠으니
날 때리겠다고.
빅시드가 만약 저 사람이 대장을 때리려고 한다면 자기도 못 말릴...
그쪽 뒤에 있는 와이페이 반도에 흑요석 주둔군을 모두 합쳐도
의현문주, 다소 갑작스럽긴 하겠지만 난 싸우자고 찾아온 게 아니야.
보호 대상? 자유가 제한된 시장의
로프꾼의 행동을 일시적으로 제한한 것은 군사 기밀을 보호하기 위한 것도 있지만
아무리 생각해도 내 제자는 내 비호하에 있는 게 가장 안...
두 분, 지금 제 안전 얘기할 때가... 로프꾼님, 괜찮으세요? 로프꾼이 옹교산에 강제로
내가 오해를 했군. 실례했어.
난 군사정보에는 전혀 관심 없어. 나에게 중요한 거...
그래서 로프꾼 분량을 어기면서까지 한마디로 넌 칭송회가 공동안의 진짜 본거지를
직접 공동에 들어가서 이 좌표에 가기 전까지는 하지만 뉴에리드의 수호자로서 옹교산이든 방위군이든
벨, 페어리한테서
실시간 공동 관측 데이터에 따르면 렘 경고, 렘리안 안전구역의 경고. 지금의 공동 확장 속도라면 렘리안 공동이 1026시간.
She said the word relentless.
이 음성 도우미는 또 뭐라는
쉽게 말하자면 이대로 가다간 칭송회의 미야즈마 연구원들이 대규모 미야즈마 활성화 실험에 대해 언급했어요. 저희가 입수한 정보와 활동 결과에 따르면 칭송회는 렘리안 내 대부분의 현재 공동 전역의 에테르 활성이 상승한 건 칭송회와 관련...
만약 네가 추측한 바가 모두 맞다면 그 숨겨진 칭송의 거점이
맞아요. 하지만 만약 저희가 그 숨겨진 거점을 없앤단...
그 기계 목구멍에서 어떻게 한숨소리가 나는...
제멋대로 꾸며낸 것 같은 전문 용어들은 대충 무시하려 했는데 그러니까 칭송회의 잔당들이 아직도 허튼 짓을 저지르고 있는지 직접 가서 확인하고
이번엔 도깨비
그럼 이만 출발하지. 오볼로스 소대
그치만 도깨비불 대장
훈련 위반이라니. 우리는 군사 기밀을 갖고 달아난 파이톤의
도깨비불 대장? 네 성의에 감동했어. 하지만
칭송회를 제거하는 건 원래 방위군의 임무지. 그러니 만약 게다가 옵스큐라의 조사도 여전히 진행 중이지. 만약 그 상자에서 세크리파
알겠어. 나랑 제자들은 칭파이 하이츠에 남아서
그럼 구체적인 계획이랑 계획을
오볼로스 소대 전원이 움직이면 쉽게 들킬 수 있으니 집합 시간은 내일 아침으로 하지. 오볼로스 소대 전원 주둔지로 돌아가서 푹 쉬도.
네, 도깨비불 대장.
내일은 긴
Oh, when someone says that, they really mean it. It's gonna be a long day. But let's see, how long in game?
포르셀로맥스와 칭송회는 옵스큐라라 불리는 에테르 실험기기를 대량으로 공동과 그 기기엔 세크리파이스를 수납하고 배양할 수 있다는 특성이 있지. 이는 오볼로스 이것이 우리가 파악한 옵스큐라에 대한 정보이며 현재 지금까진 공동 외부의 옵스큐라에도
하지만 시민들을 잠재적인 위험에 처하게 할 순 없다는 말씀이시죠?
맞아, 오피대원. 그래서 우리는 곧 칭파이 하이츠 시내에 있는 시민들은 모든 옵스큐라의 조사가 완료될 때까지 이번 대피 작업은 소장 직속 주력 부대가 담당할 거야. 그리고 오볼로스 소대는 기동부대로서
기동부대요? 그러니까
명령 대기지 자유롭게 행동해도 된다가 아니야.
네, 저희는 절대로 자유롭게 행동하지 않겠.
도깨비불 대장을 지켜보고 오볼
왜 너희들 사이에 뭔가 비밀이 있는 것 같지? 아무튼 다들 얌전히 있어.
물론이죠. 로프꾼은 저희
VIP 보호 대상 얘기가 나와서 말인데 로렌츠님과
높으신 분들이
그림자 속에 숨어있는 세크리파이스는 여간 위협이 아니니까. 자, VIP 보호 대상의 대피 준비를.
이졸대님,
도깨비불 대장?
이졸대님, 만약 제가 언젠가
대원들 앞에서 그런 농담은 삼가도록 해. 하지만 난 네 선택을 믿어.
맞아요. 대장에겐 그럴 만한 이유가 있을 거예요, 대령님.
오피 대원, 대장과 함께 군령을 어기는
저는
오피대원이 군령을 어기지 않도록 잘 감시하겠습니다.
저요?
무슨 일이 있어도 우린 동행하는 전우야.
당연하죠.
그럼 됐어.
로프꾼님, 오피, 조용히 말하는 걸 보니 뭔가 몰래 꾸미고 있나 봐. 대장이 이따가 몰래 저쪽으로 오셔서 저희랑 합류하라고 하셨어요. 대장은 지금 오피 뒤에 있잖아. 근데 왜냐하면 대장은 목소리가 너무 커서
Always such a scene when it comes to evacuation time. right, we are heading out.
작업자들한 그런 가혹한 말은 직원들이 듣지 않게 했으면 좋겠고 근로자 연감에 클레임이라도
클레임이요? 루크로님도 그런 걸 보시나요?
믿을 만한 부하를 육성하는 건 중요하지. 그렇지 않으면 그때처럼 쓸모없는 방위군 놈들한테 맡겼더니 회사 자산을 제대로 지키지도 못하고.
죄송해요. 죄송합니다. 아이를 앞둔
맞아! 애들은 안 됩니다. 철수 순서는 사전에 정해진 거예요. 회사가 비싼 돈 들여 당신들을 지켜줬으면 뻔뻔하게 나오진 마.
말 조심해. 자네가 받는 월급엔 회사 이미지를 지키는 업무 또한 포함되어 있...
아이를 먼저 보내주실 수...
죄송하게도 지금은 저 자신조차 지키기 힘든 상황이거든.
오늘부로 와이페이 반도의 대문은 이 도시의 모든 문처럼 말이지.
이번 작전 내부 홍보 자료를 쓸 사진을 찍어드리겠습니다, 소장님.
지금 이 순간은 그때와 참으로 닮아있네. 지배자들은 약자들의 목숨을 승리의 과실을 맛보기 위한 도구 정도로 여기지. 평민도 병사도 거대한 괴물들이 서로를 짓밟는 과정에서 아직 끝난 게 아니야. 오르페우스.
Gotta love the working class there. Higher ups climb their way and stomp those below them. Terrible.
여기는 전에 우리가 소탕했던
칭송의 운신처를 찾으려던 거 아닌가요? 페어리의 계산에 따르면 사각지대 좌표로 가는 등장 밑이 어둡다고.
로렌츠랑 노크로가 방해하지만 않았어도
다만 페어리의 계산으로 공간 균열의 정확한 위치까지는 알아내지 못했어요.
작전을 시작하지. 임무 목표.
네, 도끼비불 대장.
도끼비불 대장, 제가 할 테니 잠깐 쉬세요. 첫 번째 회전 신호원 확인 완료. 계산 중.
이제 두 번째 신호원만 찾으면 정확한 좌표 데이터를 부정할 수 있어요.
그렇군. 설마 날 속이려고 또 전문가들을 뒤집는 건 아니지? 이 가방 안에 정확한 균열의 위치가 표시된 지도가 있는 건 아니고?
저기요, 오프꾼으로서의 제 전문.
Oh boy, another 3D platform.
작동 프로그램 분석 중.
이 장치들의 역할은 미아즈마를 유도하고 모으는 것 같네요.
그런 것도 알아낼 수 있는 거야?
저쪽의 엔지니어들이 코드의 주소를
Nothing
잘
hiding.
달아준 덕분이죠.
Excuse me.
최후의 번째, 대규모 미아즈마 활성화 실험. 칭송에는 엄청난 양의 미아즈마를 필요로 하고 있죠. 그러니 이 장치의 역할이 매우 중요할 거예요. 미아즈마로 가득 찬 칭송의 거점은 아마 이 장치들이 만든 결과물이겠죠.
통신 구조 분석 완료. 허브 장치의 위치가 확인되었어요. HDD에 업로드 중.
찾았어요. 사각지대의 좌표예요.
You know these stairs. Let's go up the ramp. That was just straightforward. Why was there a need for checkpoints then?
균열 좌표를 확인 중이에요.
거기 제 말 들리십니까?
세상이 참 좁긴 좁네.
오볼로스 소대가
이 익숙한 짜증. 부끄러운 말투.
그 질문 그대로
그야 물론 로렌츠 소장님.
그래. 이 녀석이 소장님의 충성스러운 부하인 건 알겠는.
당신에게 설명할 의무는 없지만 전후 이곳에는 포르셀룸X의 포르셀룸 재고가 있습니다. 저희는 도시의 전략 물자가
여기 이 도시의 전략 물자는 전에 포르셀룸 그 녀석들의 뒤처리를 해주느라 고생이 많.
지금은 말싸움할 기분이 아닙니다. 여러분은 왜 여기 있는 거죠?
아시다시피 저는 로렌츠 씨가 지정한 행동 제한 대상자잖아요. 오볼로스 소대는 로토코님.
특사님이 그런 저 말이 사실인.
아니, 칭송회가 공동 어딘가에 중요 거점을 숨기. 그쪽도 군인으로서의 본분을 잘 알고 있게.
군인의 본분은 명령에 복종한.
명령의 복종은
부대를 마음대로 움직이는 건 명백한 군령 위반 행위입니다.
군령 따윈 개나 줘버려! 군령을 어겨야만 이 도시를 지킬 수 있다면 난 기꺼이 군사법정에 서겠어!
전 지금 녹음기를 가지고 있습니다. 당신의 말.
난 주먹이를 가지고 있지. 비키지 않으면 네 말 한마디 한.
그 정보를 제공한 건 저예요. 이번 작전을 주도한 것도 저고요.
동료를 위협한 죄. 저에겐 여러분을 막을 의무가 없습니다. 가려거든 가세요.
짜증나는 사람이 드디어 갔네요. 계속해서 세상을 구하러 가. 오볼로스 소대가 상당히 곤란해졌네요.
안심해, 로프꾼. 특사님은 우리가 억지로 길을 안내하게 시킨 거다.
제가 걱정하는 건 그게 아니에요.
군령을 어긴 것에 대한 책임은 내가 질 거야.
큰일이야. 도깨비불 대...
이봐, 오피! 내 걱정도 좀 해줄래?
방위군에서 보낸 긴급통.
방해군에서 온
이졸대 대령님이 의원 사부님을 찾아갔나봐. 그리고 의원 사부님은 HDD 통신 채널로 네 쪽에 긴급 통신이라는 건 그냥 조금 프로페셔널해 보이고 싶어서 해본 말이야.
전우 여러분, 파이톤의 능력에 관해서는 익히 알고 있었지만 내가 직접 공동 안팎을
이졸대 대령님.
멋대로 움직인다다 군령을 어기고 선처까지 바란다고? 도깨비불 대장.
도깨비불 대장의 냉각 부품에
저... 대령님? 로프꾼! HDD의 정보 보안이 너무 허술한 거...
자, 상황은 이해했어. 그때 당시 우리는 명령을 따르기 위해 전우들의 목숨을 이제 더는 복종을 이유로 와이페이 반도의 위험을 좌시하지 않을 거야.
그때 당시라니요?
이졸대님, 왜 갑자기 예전 이야기를 하시는 거죠?
도깨비불, 이제는 너에게 이곳에 있는 모두는 도깨비불 대장이 목숨을 맡길 수 있는 동료 혹은 유에리두의 안위를 위해 목숨을 바칠 수 있는 의인들이니. 나는 지금 도깨비불 대장과 너희들에게 진실을 말하려고 해. 이건 배신에 관한
그 사건의 조사 결과가 나온...
도깨비불 대장과 대령님의 전우들은 옛 도시 함락 당시
맞아. 그때 당시 지휘관은 아가멤논 소대에게 죽는 한이 있어도 물러서지 말고 시민들이 대피했을 선로를 지키라고 명령했어. 전우들은 그 명령에 따라 마지막 피 한 방울이 흐를 때까지 싸웠지. 하지만 사실 우리가 지켰던 건 시민들을 위한 선로가 아닌 기업의 자산을 운송한 대원들이 1분을 더 버텨줄 때마다 포르셀룸을 실은 화물칸 하나가 공동을 빠져나가. 물론 그걸 위해 기업은 그 지휘관에게 거액... 놈들이 주고받은 수표의 숫자는 대원들의 피로 얼룩져 있어.
도깨비불 대장...
이졸대님, 뇌물을 받은 지휘관이 대체 누구입니까? 대답하세요.
도깨비불 대장... 대장의 기체가 불안정해요.
대답해! 이졸대!
그들을 처벌할 만한 충분한 증거는 아직 확보하지 못했어.
자제라고! 뭘 어떻게 자제하는 거지?
도깨비불 대장! 안정을 되찾지 않으면...
나도 마찬가지야. 너 못지않게 화가 난다고, 도깨비불.
난 분노를 표출하기 위해 태어난 존재야, 이절대!
도깨비불 대장! 소대원들의 안전을 위해 강제로 휴면 모드를 작동할 거예요.
감히 날 막으려는 거냐, 어패!
당신의 분노를 가볍게 여기려는 건 아니에요. 하지만 눈앞에 있는 모두도 지금 우리가 해야 할 일도 중요해요.
말은 쉽게 하는군. 파이톤, 네가 이 감정을 잊지.
우리 모두 많은 걸 잃었어요. 이 자리에 계신 모두가 이졸대 대령님이, 의연 사부님이, 복복사서가, 그리고 많은 사람이 도깨비볼 씨처럼 그 재난으로 모든 걸 잃었다고요. 천재지변뿐만 아니라 사람에 의한 재앙까지 겪었잖아요. 그럼에도 우리는 증오와 슬픔, 후회 때문에 걸음을 멈추진 않았죠. 그 용기 때문에 우리는 지금의 모든 걸 얻을 수 있었어요. 당신의 오볼로스와 오피, 그리고 트리거 씨와 시드, 11호 씨까지. 과거는 물론 중요하지만 이 모든 것 또한 중요하잖아요. 도깨비불 대장, 나도 껴주는 거야?
고마워, 로프꾼, 이졸대님. 이 일은 그냥 넘어가지 않을 겁니다.
나중에 다시 말하자. 현재 가장 중요한 건 너희의 계획을 수행하는 거야. 내가 이 타이밍에 이 얘기를 꺼낸 건 너의 그 말이 옳다고 생각하기 때문이야. 다들 앞으로 나아가도록 해. 군 측에서의 압박은
시간이 없어요. 공동은 순식간에 변하니까 이대로 계속 시간을 지체했다간 공간 균열이 사라져버릴지도 몰라요.
알겠어. 오볼로스 소대, 행군을 계속한다.
네, 대장.
도깨비불, 사실 넌 그동안 운이 정말 좋은 편이었어.
이런 전우는 없는 게 낫다 라는 생각이 들다니.
All right, next area. Protecting civilians, but also protecting assets. Who was the one giving the orders? Who got bribed?
칭송의 이들이 이런 데 숨어 있어.
대표님의 정보가 큰 도움이 됐어요.
녀석들이 말하는 무슨 최고의 권세를 계속 전진하라. 녀석들의 딴들이 해치워버려.
오랜만이네.
사라, 칭송회가 지금까지 저지른 악행에 대체 얼마나 관여하고 있었던 거지?
악행이라고? 그러니까 그 합리적이고 필요한 희생을 말하는 건가? 창조주의 충실한 종으로서 그 질문에 대한 답은 인정할 수밖에 없네. 수많은 어리석고 오만한 불신자들 중에서도.
도깨비불 대장, 저 여자가 로프꾼님을 인신이 공격하고 있어요.
인신공격은 몰라도 화력제압은 내 전문이지. 죽어라.
이제 끝이에요.
우매한 게 고집을 부리는군. 교주님께서는 이미 종역의 문에 다다르셨으니 이제
메보라크라니 참 목숨이 질긴 녀석이네.
죽음은 잔혹한 명제지만 창조주께선 가장 충성스러운 종에게 자비를 베풀곤 하시지.
이절랄라이.
웃기지 마. 뉴에리드의 위협이 되는 녀석은 누가 됐든 절대 가만두지 않을 거야.
뉴에리도를 위협한다라. 젊은 불신 진짜 극독은 줄곧 이 도시. 그런 점에서 우리는
내 로프꾼을 너 따위와 같이 무너지 마.
그러나 우리가 함께할 기회는 없을 것 같네. 교주님의 의식을 방해하게 둬서나 충실한 종들이여. 창조 아련의 고된 인생은 늘 희생으로 가득했지. 창조주를 찾아가는 길, 항상 기와 뼈를 기독했어. 삶과 죽음, 존재의 수, 찬란한 것 쇠락함, 그리고 기쁨과 고통. 창조주에게 돌아갈 것이다.
아직 안 끝났어. 너희들 행운이 찾아온 거야. 지금 원빈이 왔어요.
저기 강한 공격을 하려 하는 건 준비 준비.
CD에게 맡겨. 어무사가. 대장님 저에게 맡기세요. 날카로운 공격. 이 싸움 경제가 미안. 동조자를 잘 못할지도 몰라. 2라운드가 있는 사람은 아마 저쪽에 있는 것 같은데? 가서 한번 확인해보자.
줄 서세요. 밀지 마세요.
창조주께서 우리를 재창조해 주시길 보호하는 자들이여 창조주의 위로와 영광이 함께
흉물들이 침파이하였지 안팎에 들끓고 있군. 방심하면 안 돼.
긴급 상황이야. 칭송의 전도사들이랑 세크리파이스가
공동 내부의 거점이 습격당하는 바람에 도시의 혼란을 적이 도시를 공격하고 있다고요?
그리 대단한 계획은 아니군. 현재 흑요석 부대 동료들이 도시 안에 있고 운규산의 수행자들도 도시.
대장의 말씀대로 의연 사부님과 운교사네 모두가 부대원들이랑 같이 도시 내
산길이. 하지만 저희가 받은 옵스큐라 분포도에 따르면
그래서 군에서도 산길 근처에 별도의 방어선을
큰일이에요. 산길 근처에도 민가가 적지 않은데. 알겠어요. 지금 바로 와이페이 반도로 돌아가는 경로를 계산할게요. 부탁해요, 루프꾼님.
Things are getting a bit dicey. The Exaltus, is that how you pronounce it? Exaltus? They certainly have a good coordination and strategy.
운규산의 수행자들 덕분에 도시 내부에 있는 세크리파이스들은
저희의 임무는 산길 근처의 세크리파이스와 칭송의
그러니까 포르셀락스의 짜증나는 집행관 루크로와
불행하게도 루크로 씨와의 연락이 끊어졌어요. 그래도
불행이라고 해야 할지 다의 녀석들이 좋든 싫든 임무는 완수해야지. 산길 주변에 아직도 주민들이 많으니
Attack now! Every second, every minute counts. Because the enemy is making their move.
옵스큐러에서 나온 세크리파이스부터 처리하자.
터널 안에 내복이 있어요. 정말 못생긴 녀석들이네. 쓰러진 사람들은 포르셀로닉스 사람들인 것 같아요. 대장, 정신이 뜨겁네. 몬스터 진정하세요. 저희는 흑요석 부대입니다. 진정하세요. 위험 요 목숨을 노리는 귀신들에게 큰 충격을 받으신 모양이에요. 옷차림을 보니 포르셀로맥스 사람인 것 같은 동료들이라는 건
나도 그 녀석들이 싫긴 하지만
도깨비불, 전우들을 죽인 범인이 그날의 일에 대한 책임은 뇌물을 바친 포르셀로맥스와 놈들이 건넨 뇌물을 받 포르셀로맥스의 몫은 이로써 피로 갚았네.
이졸대님,
맞아. 그때 당시 지휘관을 매수한 기업 측 책임자가 물론 루크로의 곁에부터 이득을 봐온 자들도 죽어 마땅하지. 놈들도
아무리 죄가 있다고 해도 최소한 재판을 통해 죄를 물어야.
로프꾼, 네 정의감은 충분히 존경받을 만해. 하지만 불합리한 누명과 절망적인 정, 방위군이나 치안국, 조사길드 혹은 핸드나 탑스 같은 거대 조직들 앞에서 넌 얼마나 많은 불공정을 겪어봤고.
하지만 이졸대님,
맞아. 분명 실현될 거야. 타인의 동정이나 윗사람의 연민이 아니야.
대령님, 왜 하필 지금 도깨비불 단순히 진실을 전하려는 게
도깨비불, 그때 당시 작전을 지휘 포르셀로맥스에게 거액의 수표를 받기 위해 우리에게 더러운 일을 시키고 자신의 뇌물수수 사실을 은폐하기 위해 다른 부대가 우리를 지원하지.
로렌츠군요.
맞아. 11년 전에는 로렌츠 대령이었으며 지금은 성공가도를 달리고 있는
Of
그 로렌츠
course,
소장 말이야.
the sleazy bastard had a typical anime antagonist
11년 전
face.
녀석은 루크로와 결탁했어. 그리고 11년 후인 지금은
로렌츠, 전우들의 희생과 다 그 사람 때문이라고.
루크로는 죽었어. 그리고 로렌츠는 바로 네 앞. 내 선택은 끝났어. 우리는 서로에게 남겨진 유일한 동행자야.
이졸대님, 이졸대님,
이졸대 대령님,
말도 안 돼. 로렌츠를
도깨비불 대장, 이럴 때일수록 침착해야 해요.
증거라고? 로프꾼, 만약 이 세상에 정당함이, 정의가 정말로 존재한다면.
하지만 이졸대 씨가 대장에게 진실을 말한 타이밍이 뭔가 이상해요.
함께 복수를 하길 바라시는 것뿐이야. 이졸대님의 말씀이 맞아. 나와 그분은
대장, 그렇게 말씀하시는 건 기억나요. 제가 처음 오볼로스를 선택한 건 우리는 모두 떠나간 동료들과 가족들. 그런데 지금 당신은 우리가 함께 걷는 동료라는 걸.
시드는 대장을 도와서 나쁜 놈들에게 그렇게 했다간 큰일이 날 것 같네. 빅시드도 분명 목소리를 낮게 깔고. 안 돼, 도깨비불 대장. 아이 참, 사람을 위로하는 건 내 역할이 아닌데.
그런 가벼운 말은 그만해. 너희는
도깨비불 대장.
오피, 이해 못하는 건 너도 마찬.
정신 차리세요, 도깨비불 언니. 뭐가 대장이랑 이졸대님만 동행자라는 거예요. 제가 있어서 대장이 이 길을 걸을 수 있었던 거잖아요. 이렇게 함께 오볼로스의 모두가, 로프꾸님이, 제가 대장과 여기까지 왔잖아요. 오볼로스의 모두가 소중한 사람을 잃었어요. 그런 모두를 한데 모으고 엉망진창인 고통과 복수심으로부터 구한 건 당신이잖아요. 우리가 손 놓고 지켜봐야만 이해하는 거라고 생각하신 건가요? 전 죄송해요, 도깨비불 대장. 임무가 아직 끝나지 않았어요. 개인 원한을 시민들의 안위보다 우선시할 수는 없어요. 그 점은 동의하시죠, 도깨비불 대장?
그래, 동의해. 계속 가면서 에테리얼들을 소탕하자. 오볼로스 전투.
근처에서 작동되지 않은 읍스키라를 발견했습니다.
몬스터들은 바로 그런 장치에서 나왔어요.
혹시 모르니 주변의 옵스키라를 모두 제거하자.
Hang on a second. Oh. There we go.
옥스키라가 비활성화된 것을 확인했습니다.
이 옵스큐라의 위치는 대령님의
Oh no, it's going reverse. Yeah, it is. Four, five.
전방에 옵스큐라가 있어요.
저더 세크리파이스가 다가오고 있다. 다들 경계를 늦추지 마. 공동 밖에서도 발동할 수 있는 몬스터. 정말 무서운 무기라고.
녀석들을 도시에 들여보내기라도 하면.
우리가 그런 일이 일어나지 않게 막아야지.
이 앞이 로렌츠 소장님이 철수하신.
Hello, it's the polka dots shirt man. Looks like he didn't make it. Oh no, there's a child! Save! Dante.
어린아이예요.
Do you have a brother named Virgil somewhere?
산길에 갇혔나 봐요. 단테, 어디 다친 데는 없어? 난 멜로우랑 아무랑 우린 숨바꼭질을 하고 있어. 그런데 그 상자들에서 괴물이 튀어나왔어. 멜로우랑 아무는 산길로 괜찮아, 단테. 이해랑 아는 사이. 사롱아이에 사는 단테란 애야. 단테의 삼촌. 단테의 삼촌은 도깨비불 대장의 전우들과
그렇구나. 이 전우의 친척인 건가?
전우?
그래 꼬마야.
와, 그럼 누나도 우리 삼촌도 뛰어난 누나. 누나들은 꼭 돌아와야 해. 알겠어, 단테.
단테, 삼촌의 원수를 갚을 기회가 있다면
복수라고?
내가 너희 삼촌을 죽게 만든 범인, 아니 삼촌에게 피해를 준
나도 당연히 우리 삼촌이 군인이 된 것은 분명 모두를 지키기 위해서였을 거야. 삼촌을 죽인 괴물을 처치하기보다는 모두를 지키는 군인이 될 거야. 그러니까 누나도 꼭 무사히 돌아가야 해.
알겠어, 단테. 너도 얼른 집에 가봐.
강희군과 문규산의 누나랑 형들이 엄마도 아직 집에 있을지도 몰라. 단테는 정말
착한 아이. 로렌츠, 그 쓰레기 녀석이.
도깨비불 대장.
자, 이제 계속 가자.
언니, 도깨비불 대장, 이제 어떻게 할까요?
로렌츠, 그자에게 직접 물어봐야겠어.
도깨비불 대장.
It just keeps getting interesting, more interesting by the minute. Never fail to disappoint. Hey, wait, isn't this the bay?
도깨비불 대장, 이런 거짓 정보와 근거 없는 비방은 어디서?
로렌츠 소장님, 제 자제력이 아직 남아있을 때 맞다 혹은 아니다로 대답해 주시겠습니까?
이런 중대한 근거 없는 비방은 군사 설마 앞서 군령을 어기고 독단적으로 작전을 실행한
Excuse me.
로렌츠님, 맞다 혹은 아니다입니다.
11년 전 옛 도시가 함락될 때 내가 지휘한 소대는 압박을 받는 게 전선에서 싸우는 너희 병사들뿐일 것 같아. 자네들의 실패와 무능함 덕분에 내가 얼마나 많은 질타와 비난을 받았는지 아나? 그자들의 입맛에 맞춘 전쟁과 정치, 그리고 이 도시의 존망은 자네들 같은 자들이 그저 전방에서 총을 쏜다고 해결할 수 있는 일이 아니야. 자네의 머리로는 만약 그런 게 아직 그 몸에 남아있다면 말이네만, 다만 자네 뒤엔 아직 오볼로스 소대원들이 있지.
로렌츠 씨, 이건 명백한 협박이에요. 전 시장님을
순진한 녀석들끼리 참 잘도 어울리. 자네가 나와 함께 불구덩이에 떨어지길 원한다고 해도 자네의 미래 따윈 아무래도 그렇게 이기적으로 살지 말라고. 자네 말대로 내가 그때 그랬다고 쳐. 그런데 그게
도깨비불 대장. 도깨비불 대장. 대장의 심정은 이해해요.
저 녀석 말이 맞아. 내 뒤에는 대원들과 하지만 나는, 그리고 이졸대님도 저 녀석이 제멋대로 날뛰게 두진 않을 거야. 이졸대님.
그나저나 이졸대님은 지금 어디 계신 걸까요?
증거 없는 고발은 상관을 향한 근거 없는 비방에 불과하지. 이번 일에 대한 걸 기대하도록 하게. 이번 전투로 이제 더는 방위군이 이곳에 머무는 걸 막을 사람은 없겠지.
맞습니다, 소장님.
응?
이제 소장님을 막을 사람은 없죠.
이졸대? 나랑 같이 철수하도록 하지 대령. 우리의 1등 공신을 저버릴 수 있나?
공신?
응?
그때 당시 퇴각 못한 당신이 저버린 병사들 또한 당신에게 발판을 마련해준 공신이잖아!
소장님!
Right in the heart. right into the hollow, and she did a thing. Oh boy. Well, there goes him. Things got interesting, and now it got more complicated. Complicated for them, that is.
경고. 랩니안 공동 잔역의 경고. 특이 고활성 에테르.
큰일이네. 왜
싱성회가 또 움직이기 시작할 모양이고
도깨비불 대장 이졸대 씨
이졸대님이 이런 계획을 세우고 있었을 줄이야.
Well, she's been missing for quite a while every now and then. And when someone goes missing, they have their own agendas.
그분답지 않아. 아니, 어쩌면 내가 아주 오랫동안
죄송해요 도깨비불 대장. 마음이 복잡하실 거라는 건
됐어. 이런 때 굳이 날 위로할 필요 없어. 이래봬도 난 군인이다. 얕보면 곤란해. 싱성회, 옵스큐라, 세크리파이스 이 모든 것 이후 이졸대님은 공동으로 도망쳤고 지금 공동에선 만약 이졸대님이 군인의 원칙
공동의 위기를 막기 위해서든 이졸대님께 제대로 된 확답을 듣기 위해서든 우리는 다시 한번 출격해야만 해요. 저도 계속 작전을 지원할게요. 파이터는 유에리도를 노리는 모든 위험
상황이 이 지경까지 왔는데 은규산도 공동에서 꽤나 매서운 에너지가 소용돌이치고 있어. 이번
11년 전에도 문규산의 문주가 감당하기 어려운 이번에는 나도 함께 싸우겠어. 의현문주.
그래. 11년 전에 그 문주도 분명 기뻐할 거야.
도시 내부를 방어하는 건 군축과 다른 제자들에게 맡기고 저는 사부님과
오버로스 무장 준비.
공동 안에 미야지마가 저 탑을 향해 모이고 있어. 이대로 계속 뒀다간 심각한 문제가 생길 거야.
경고. 랩니안 공동 장악의 에테르 활성이 역대
그럼 직접 가서 확인해보자. 그리고 저곳에 있는 게 무엇이든 간에
경고. 랩니안 공동 장악의 에테르 활성 상승
멈추지 않으면 엄청 무서운 일이 일어나겠죠?
경고. 지금의 공동 확장 속도라면 랩니안 공동
Seven that was.
마치 으스러진 껍질이나 터져버린
그런 일이 일어나게 두진 않을 거야.
문규사는 물러서지 않을 겁니다.
마치 저승 같은 광경이네.
앞으로 가요. 이졸대 씨를 찾기 위해서든 칭송회를 막기 위해
오버로스 소대 전투 준비.
Excuse me. Man, that lady knows how to run while wearing them heels.
미야즈마로 연결되어 있어서 파괴가 어렵군. 미야즈마가 계속 모이는 걸 막으려면 아무래도 모이는 장소로 갈 수밖에 없겠네.
서두르자. 사람 녀석이 더 많은 미야즈마 장치를 작동시키는 걸 막아야 돼.
엘리베이터의 작동선에 비해서
3752. Whoops.
비밀번호를 찾느라 쓸데없이 시간을 낭비했군. 남은 시간이 별로 없어.
사람
Oh, sorry. That was a 4.
그 사람의 기운도 이 앞쪽에 있어.
앞이라고요? 이졸드님은 왜 칭송일 쪽으로 도망가신 거죠? 저쪽에 미야즈마 장치가 있어요. 사라와 메보라크가 바로 근처에 있을 거예요.
She's still running.
저쪽에 미야즈마 장치의 레이저예요.
나에게
또 미야즈마 장치가 작동하기 시작했어요.
쫓아가자.
저 사람들이 장치를 가동하고 있어요. 이번엔 당신들이 믿는 창조주란 녀석이 파괴와 재앙, 혼돈, 이것이 바로
파에톤, 모두가 너처럼 이 어두운 세상에서 네가 찾고자 하는 태양이 넌 모를 거야. 우리의 희망의 주인을 아련하기 위해 우리가
다른 사람의 행복을 빼앗는 게 대체 어떤 희망을 줄 수 있다는 거죠?
로프꾼, 오피, 희생하려면 너나 희생해.
교주님께서는 이미 종역의 아직도 이해가 안 돼?
또 도망치려고?
여러분은 계속하세요.
혼자서 괜찮겠어? 상당히 교활하니.
석연은 상당히 뛰어난 수행자야.
좋아. 그럼 계속 전진하자. 병사들, 이게 신이라는 제목이잖아.
미야즈마가 만들어낸 환영일 뿐이야. 정신 차려 병사.
늦었구나. 나의
The Overseer.
순순히 항복하세요, 메보라크!
계속 저항하면 널 가루로 만들어겠어.
나에게 총을 겨누려고? 그럼 그때
어.
왜 트리거를 당기지 않았지? 도깨비불?
What a plot twist.
이졸드님?
방위군, 포르셀로맥스, 칭송이. 서로 상관없어 보였던 것들의 연결점이 바로 당신이었군.
이졸대님, 왜 당신이 그 녀석의 옷을 입고 있는 거죠?
로렌츠를 마주했을 때 왜 총을 쏘지 않았지? 도깨
방위군의 대령 이졸대 혹은 칭송회의 교주 메보라크 방위군의 부대에게 작전을 명령한 것도 칭송회의 신도들에게 반격을 가하게 한 것도 모두 그래서 당신의 정보에 사각지대가 있었던 거예요. 양손에 체스마를 쥔 채 판을 조종하고 있었던 건가요? 이 모든 건 방위군의 병력을 지연시키기 위한 계획이었을 거예요.
정말 똑똑한 아이구나, 파이톤. 내 진정한 목적은 나의 신도들은 널 속이지 않았어.
이졸대, 와이페이 반도의 모든 비극이
비극? 그들의 복수를 위해, 네가 그토록 찾아야 하는 정의를 위해 내가 고심 끝에 짜낸 결과가 그렇구나. 비극이네. 이 비극적인 결말 중에서도 가장 마음 아픈 건 바로 너의 배신이야. 그토록 혐오스러운 원수 앞에서 보인 네 나약한 말이지.
도깨비불 대장도 지난 몇 년간 군 내부에서 조사를 이어왔어요. 단지 내부에 있는 만큼 방해 요소가 많았을 뿐이.
로렌츠를 마주했을 때 왜 총을 쏘지 않았지?
저는 흑요석 부대의 군인입니다. 적군이 아닌 대상에게는 발포할 동시에 저는 유에리드의 시민입니다. 그 누구에게도 오볼로스의 대장인 제가 개인적인 복수를 위해.
정말 미안해. 너희 그럼 모두에게 잊힌 영혼들을 위한 추모는 번제가 곧 시작될 거야. 너희도 함께 지켜봐줘. 저 여자를 막아.
Hey Ratchet, what's up? I think you're right at the time of, I guess, what may be the climax.
이졸대님, 어떻게 이럴 수가?
11년은 많은 게 달라지기 충분한 시간이지.
어깨를 나란히 했던 이라. 마지막으로 이졸대와 함께 임무를 나간 게 언제였지? 함께 나란히 걸은 지는 또 얼마나 됐고.
곰곰이 생각해보니 내가 연장자가 아닐지도 모르겠네. 이런 훈계 같은 말은 하면 안 되겠어. 하지만 공교롭게도 나도 많은 이별과 지키고자 하는 마음, 그리고 배신을 겪었지. 다만 이유야 어찌됐든 예전에 자신과 다른 길을 간다는 건 매우 유감스러운 일이야.
자,
미야즈마가 모여드는 곳이 바로 이 앞에 있어.
이졸대님도 거기 계신 걸까요?
도깨비불? 기졸대의 죄는 아마 용서받기 힘들 테지.
알고 있어. 난 어엿한 군인이야.
이졸대님,
Oh, you already did it?
매우
Okay.
중대한 죄를 저질렀습니다.
Then I don't need to say anything. I'm the one in the unknown.
저희에게 협조해 주세요. 그리고 함께 유에리드로 돌아가 심판을 받으세요.
어리숙하구나. 그때의 그 아이와 같아.
로렌츠와 루크로는 이미 죽었어요. 당신의 복수는 끝났다고요. 그런데 왜 멈추지 않는 거죠?
끝났다고? 하지만 죽은 병사들은 다시 돌아오지 않는걸. 이 도시가 그들에게 진 빚을 무엇을 갚아야. 솔직히 말하자면 창조주가 어떤 세상을 가져올지, 하지만 적어도 지금의 이 실망으로 가득한 세상과는 다르겠지. 네 말이 맞아. 복수는 이미 끝났고 속세를 향한 나의 집념도 끝났지. 이제는 종역의 문을 두드릴 시간이야.
당신은 도시를 지키는 병사인가요? 아니면 악행을 저지르는 교주인가요? 이졸대 씨. 아니, 메보라크.
그것들은 단지 이름일 뿐이야. 어린 노프꾼. 네가 파이톤이라는 이름을 필요로 하는 것과 같아. 캐롤 아르나 또한 죄인의 이름이잖아. 하지만 그럼에도 너희처럼 그녀의 정의를 믿어주는 사람이 있지. 그렇다면 모두에게 잊힌 이름들을 위해 죄인이란 이름을 짊어진 내게 나만의 정의가 없을 이유는 또 뭐지?
복수를 위한 거라고 해도 왜 하필 이 죄악의 길을 택한 거죠?
그럼 뭘로 복수를 할 수 있는데? 선량한 마음? 정의? 아니면 아니? 죄악으로 물든 이 두 손밖에 없어.
돌아가요, 이졸들. 그들은 돌아오지 않아요. 저는 당신마저 잃고 싶지 않아요.
그러기엔 벌써 여기까지 와버렸어. 가벼운 말이나 가슴 아픈 대사는 생략하도록 하지. 진정한 군인답게 총포와 칼로 결판을 내도록 하자.
That line almost sounds like something out of a Metal Gear game. Okay. I sort of got a taste of her combat in one of the events, or I think it was the Deadly Assault. No, it was definitely the Deadly Assault.
응석 부리지 마. 복수는 애초부터 돌이킬 수 없는 길이야. 전투 준비!
Commander, didn't you know? In revenge, nobody is a winner. It was a Deadly Assault. Ah, okay. Yeah, because I did the Deadly Assault first without even doing the story, so I was like, oh, she has like a form, so I was already spoiled before doing the actual thing. But this whole time she was the so-called overseer since the beginning. A Two-Face. Interesting though.
예전에 그 타오르는 불꽃이 아니구나. 내가 준 이름에 걸맞지 않아. 도깨비불! 창조주여, 부대 은혜를 내리소서.
대체 왜? 그딴 곳에 가오를 구하는 거죠?
이 아줌마가 대령님의 주변으로 모이고 있어요.
Got a longer tail.
네가 별로 마음에 안 들어. 조금 세게 해도 괜찮지?
은양모행 명악을 수면한다.
Oh, come on, she disappeared.
거대한 파도 속에서 소멸되어라. 이 춤은
Oh, right.
끝이 없음.
I almost forgot about that.
집스럽게 저항을 하는구나.
미야지마 실드가 파괴됐어요.
거기 약해졌어. 지금이야.
병사들이여, 속세로 돌아와라. 나를 위해 싸워라. 교사 부대. 평화의 유연함도 힘을
전술 목표 릴레이
전술 목표
Back on that wave. Yeah, me too. In the Deadly Assault, I had no idea that pop-up message was right there. And, you know, confusion. You got, apparently, we have to be fast readers.
동요와 굴. 어째서 나에게 맞서려는 거지? 동요야, 날 방해하지 마.
복수의 불꽃은 단 한 번도 꺼진 적 없어.
하지만 이 불꽃이
집어삼켜주면 안 돼요.
미야즈마가 흩어지고 있어요.
이졸대님. 의현 먼저. 이제부턴 내가 맡을게.
우리가 맡을게요.
그래. 우리한테 맡겨.
I think I saw something here.
도깨비불 대장, 마음이 복잡하시죠? 이졸대님이 바로 앞에 계세요.
이 모든 걸 함께 해줘서 고마워, 루피. 그 오만한 녀석을
In the fated duel.
전술 목표는 운명의 대결이다.
예전에 도깨비 불은 훌륭해서 단 한 번도 나를 이긴
Oh,
적이
she fast.
없었는데 네가
Very fast.
아니 너희 둘 다 성장했길 바랄게.
저는 정말 성장하지 못했을지도 모릅니다. 하지만 이 아이는
열심히 하겠습니다.
칼로 너의 각오를 증명해봐. 도깨비불! 확실히 많이 늘었네.
Wow.
상상하지 못한 사람은 아마 아닌가 봐.
저를 집착에서 꺼내준 사람이 바로 당신이잖아요. 절망 속에서 절 구한 것도 바로 당신이잖아요. 그러니까 이제 제가 당신을 널 깨워줄게.
Whew. I bet that QTE was like a new surprise twist. But they should do it more often at this point.
맞아요. 이젠 지킬 수 없죠.
그래서 우리는 앞으로 나아갈 수밖에 없어요.
다시는 가만히 두지 않겠어요. 더는 제 곁에 사람들을 잃고 싶지 않아요.
당신도요, 대령님.
곁에 있는 사람이라고? 이미 잃을 만큼 잃었잖아. 하나 더 추가되면 뭐 어때? 나약하면 고통만을 가져올 뿐이야.
이건 데니?
이제 당신
But this time, Magnus reacted.
너무 늦었어.
They wouldn't change the age rating at this point or after this, right?
군사법정에 서는 거 정말 싫거든.
So she decided to take the other way out.
이졸대 왜 지금까지 그 많은 일을 말 안 했어?
왜냐하면 너는 오르페우스니까. 나의 오르페우스, 넌 이미 너무 많은 걸 잃었어. 전우를 잃고 욕신을 잃고 마땅히 누렸어야 할 인생마저 잃었잖아.
이졸대
그렇게나 많은 걸 잃은 너에게 더 이상의 짐을 지게 하고 싶진 않았어.
하지만 내가 조금이라도 더 일찍 알았더라면 내가 잃은 그 모든 걸 당신도 잃었잖아.
이젠 돌이킬 수 없어, 오르페우스. 내 손은
알고 있어. 당신의 빚은 내가 대신 갚아줄게.
저도요.
오피.
도깨비 불 대장의 곁에서 이졸대님이 저지른 잘못을 함께 바로잡을게요. 그리고 이졸대님처럼 분노와 외로움, 그리고 무력감 때문에 잘못된 길을 가지 않게 대장의 옆을 지킬 거예요.
너도 나만큼 괴롭다는 걸 알아. 하지만 넌 정말 운이 좋구나. 오피는 좋은 아이야. 그러니 이 아이를, 젊은 시절의 너를 실망하게 하지 말렴.
그럴 일 없어. 이졸대.
그래, 널 믿어. 오히려 기대에 부응하지 못한 건 나지. 오랜만이네, 오르페우스. 너무 보고 싶었어. 부디 날 용서해주게.
What a night.
마스터, 근처에서 이상한 에테르 파동 신호가 감지되었어요.
이상한 파동?
미아즈마의 파동일 뿐이야. 저기는 딱히 없는.
어째서 왜 나랑 공명하는 거지? 저 사람은 선생님? 캐롤 선생님! 그저 미아즈마가 모여서 만든 환상인가?
벨, 와이즈.
She has horns?
선생님은 더는 너희와 함께할 수 없어. 하지만 너희는 선생님의
저건 선생님과 헤어지던 그때잖아.
오빠랑 함께 헬리오스의 불씨를.
선생님.
네 창조주는 대체 어떤 존재지?
창조주라고?
종역의 문이 그곳에 있다는 거지? 문 뒤에 어떤 비밀이 있길래 목이 쉬도록 큰 소리로 칭송하고 기도해야 하는 걸까?
칭송해와 선생님이라고?
그래. 그분을 아련하는 길을 여는 걸 도와줄게.
아니야. 선생님이 놈들과 공범일 리가 없어.
그 길의 끝에는 내가 찾는 것도
선생님이 쫓는 게 대체 어떤 답이길래 이 정도의 대가를 치르며
설사 이 정도의 대가를 치러야 한다 해도
죄를 짊어지면서까지
죄를 짊어져야 하는 한이 있더라도
우리를 버리면서까지 쫓으려 하신 거죠?
나의 여정은 완벽한 결말을 맞이할 수 없을지도 모르지. 에리두가 심연으로 빠질지 아니면 절망해서 다시 살아날지. 하지만 난 아이들을 믿어. 그 아이들은 찬란한 파이톤이니까.
Just leaves even more questions than answers. Could Bell and Wise's teacher had anything to do with this creator belief thing? But apparently, though, she has like other intentions.
로프꾼!
루프크님, 오랜만이에요. 도깨비불 대장, 우피, 오랜만이에요. 그동안 아니요, 전혀요. 저랑 도깨비불 대장의 사무실 책상에 공문서가 산더미처럼 쌓였다니까요. 무엇보다 가장 억울한 건 제 몫을 다 한 다음엔 대장의 서류까지 처리해야 한다는 점이에요.
어차피 우리 책상은 하나잖아. 뭘 그렇게 깐깐하게 나눠?
그래도 좋은 소식이 있어. 시드는 이 둘과 같은 테이블을 쓸 필요 없지롱.
또 하나의 좋은 소식은 상부에서 저희에게 장기 휴가를 내줬다는 거예요. 인도적인 차원에서 내린 결정이자 추가적인 분쟁을 피하기 위함인 것 같더군요.
이번 사건은 방위군의 장성들과 탑스의 고위층이 연루된 만큼 이해관계가 매우 복잡했지만 그래도 나름 결론이 났어.
아가멤논 소대, 즉 도깨비불 대장과 이졸대 대령님이 소속되어 있던 부대가 옛 도시 함락 당시 실패했던 사건의 전말이 철저하게 조사됐어요.
전 방위군 소장 로렌츠와 포르셀로맥스의 전 집행관 루크로의 금전거래 정황이 확인되어 둘 다 해임되고 책임을 추궁당하게 됐지.
그때의 진실이 드디어 공개되는군요. 이로써 희생되지 말았어야 하는 그 병사들에게도 조금은 위로가 됐을까요?
하지만 두 사람 모두 와이페이 반도 습격 사건으로 목숨을 잃었기에 공개 재판은 잠정 중단된 상태야. 군 측과 탑스 모두 대중 앞에서 자신들의 이미지가 실추되는 건 원치 않겠지.
적어도 그들은 마땅한 벌을 받았네요.
방위군 총사령부에서도 그간 각 세력과 결탁하고 부정행위를 저질러온 고위 장성들을 처벌하고 강등시켰다고 해. 메이플라워 시장에 압박이 있었다더군.
포르셀로맥스와 칭송회의 불법 실험으로 피해를 입은 시민들은 어떻게 됐나요? 다들 세크리파이스와 미야지마 실험의 피해자들은 모두 요양센터로 이송되었고 포르셀루맥스와 칭송회가 점유한 불법 자산도 치안국에서 압수 처리했어요.
이 모든 성과를 얻을 수 있었던 건 우리가 이번 작전에서 그리고 이졸대 대령님이 생전에 모은 정보와 증거 덕분이야. 이졸대님이 연루된 사건들은 상당히 복잡하지만 그분이 여러 잘못을 저지른 건 틀림없는 사실이지.
이졸대 씨가 벌인 많은 일은 모두 분노로 시야가 흐려진 탓이었죠.
그렇지. 그 오만한 바보 대령님은 징후를 품은 채 외롭게 홀로 돌이킬 수 없는 잘못을 잔뜩 저질렀으니까.
도깨비불 대장도 늘 혼자서 우울해하다가 충동적으로 일을 저지르곤 하시잖아요.
나는
로프꾸님 앞에서 약속해주세요. 도깨비불 대장은 돌이킬 수 없는 실수는 하지 않겠다고요.
약속할게. 로프꾼이 이 약속의 증인이야.
약속을 어기는 사람은 핑크색 콜파를 입어야 할 거예요. 그때 오볼로스 소대가 확실히 군령을 위반하긴 했었죠. 그 일로 군사재판을 받진 않으셨나요? 좋은 일을 했는데 징벌을 받을 리가요.
오볼로스 소대는 분명 군사명령을 위반했지만 칭송회를 소탕하고 시민을 지킨 공을 세웠기에 전원이 훈장을 수여받았지.
어른들의 세계에서 살아남는다는 건 정말 쉽지 않네요. 완벽하다곤 할 수 없지만 그래도 나름 괜찮은
And they say good
결말이네요.
soldiers follow orders.
로프꾼의 선생인 캐롤 아르나의 건 내가 군에서 관련 단서를 찾아보도록 할게.
로프꾸님이 믿는 사람이니까 저희도 그분을 믿어요.
그건 그렇고 와이페이 반도에서의 작전을 너무 급하게 하느라 이곳을 제대로 둘러보지도 못했네.
I just noticed that Magnus is wearing something that looks like a necktie.
한동안 푹 쉬어야겠네.
휴가 시간
나중에 보자.
또 봐요, 로프꾸님.
Letter? Oh my goodness. Probably skim through it now. I'm not much of a fast reader, but let's see. Oh, that's why. They simply pick who is most useful in achieving their goal. Oh, typical. Still unraveling the mystery of Carol. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, there were more questions than answers. Belle and Wise's own teacher had made contact and made a deal with them, cooperated with them even. But she also had a goal of her own during while she was helping them out. Well, at least the Colonel had some remorse. She had some sanity. And I think she knew what the outcome was gonna be like. Rest of the letter has been torn away. Hmm. Oh yeah, that's right. It was the other guy. Where the heck is he?
교주가 추락했군.
하지만 당신은 조금도 슬퍼하지 않는 것 같군요.
슬퍼한다고? 교주는 그저 하나의 직함일 뿐이야. 힘을 전승하는 증표.
당신의 왼손에 있는
그래 맞아. 그분의 권한을 대행하는 영광.
창조주의 존재를
네 두 눈으로 직접 봐. 이것이
이 졸대가 다룬 건 범인의 영역을 아득히 넘어서는 그런 힘이었지.
그쪽이 그리 독실한 신자가 아니란 건 알지만 이졸대가 창조주께서 위협을 이루는데 도움을 준 자들에겐 네 소원은
나의
Uh-oh. Someone's gonna be a selfish man. Yeah, I got one. But uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Now Seed story is unlocked. But uh-oh. I had a feeling. I mean, he was not going to be a playable character anyways. He didn't even had the proper model texture, or nah, he more or less kind of had that sort of original yet generic NPC look. But yeah, I had a feeling he wasn't gonna like he was gonna eventually do something bad. And I've seen that kind of trope. A character who looks good, who works for who has good will and all that sort, but then when they start chasing the bad guys, they just kind of like stall there and listen, and all it took is a few little words and convincing, and before you know it, the so-called good guy be like, really? My wish can come true? Okay, I will work with you, but at the same time, please don't hurt my friends, blah blah blah. I know that's gonna happen. He's probably gonna come back to the temple acting like he's all fine. He's gonna try to lay low and then sabotage within when the time is right. And then when what's the saying? When the cat is out of the bag, except he's not a cat, he's more like a fox, wolf, I don't know. Once it's out of the bag, he's gonna be like, I did all of this for the creator. I don't care about the temple, about the people here. They all suck. And then he's probably gonna be offed, and it's gonna be a heavy grief for everybody. no, those who were so close to him. Because yeah, think about it. He had good faith. He worked at the temple, treated everybody like good close friends and comrade. Only to 180 that because the Exaltus have convinced him that they could offer him whatever he wishes. That's more or less what a cult would do, yeah. Well, we pretty much see, so far we've seen a lot of characters that have fallen for that. And now another has fallen. And I'm sure more will come after Four Eyes there. Four Eyes Fox. Or Wolf, whatever he is. What a shame too. Although it'll be interesting if Hoyoverse writers 180 that and be like, he'll just be locked up in prison and, you know, just never to be seen in the light of day for a while. And in my opinion, I think death is too good for him. If the story writes him off as just kill him because he's already done too much bad, nah, man. Usually the best punishment is to always keep the criminals alive. As Lord Raiden in Mortal Kombat X said, there are fates worse than death, and he's right. I mean, have you seen Shinnok? The fallen elder god became nothing but a head. He wished he could die, but he's just a head. Waiting, and waiting. Doing nothing. Other than powering up the nether tower back then for evil Revenant Liu Kang and Katana, if you remember. He's just the head. A head of an elder god. But then after that, he just got brushed away like he's nothing. Anyways, that was a good story, as always. Hoyoverse, still top-notch narrative story. And see, that is how you bring out strong female characters, whether they are heroes or villains. And it's funny how some game companies can't even do that. And speaking of which, I've recently finished Silk Song, and right off the bat, I was like, I had a moment where I was down to the last hit, no recoveries. And all of my items were already consumed, so I had to do nothing but be patient and hit at the right time. And then I won, and to that experience, I haven't felt that way in such a long time with a video game. And I mean that in a good way. In such a way where it gave me, it reminded me, or I should say, typically, like, in a cringe way, it kind of just reignited my love, why I love video games. Like, I haven't had a game that ever made me feel so pressured, yet so hyped at the same time. My hands were palm sweaty and shaking, yet it was shaking from excitement and just one more hit from being defeat. Even if I had to try again, I would do it over and over. But yeah, Silk Song was just brilliant. And I'm fully done 81% at the end. There was like, I think there's still like some other bosses and quests that I haven't accomplished. Heck, I might have skipped some in Act 2. But yeah. And all of that, for what the game is worth, having more than 50 plus bosses, a big ass open world map, Metroidvania map style. Dude, $30 for that? That's crazy. I mean, just imagine what Bloodstain's gonna cost then with their high-end budget. But yeah, I would take another game like Silk Song over most AAA games today. Except for Sonic Racing, at least we know that game's great, because I'm still hearing good words out of it. I mean, yeah, because it's straightforward. It's a party racing game with fun written all over it. I'm just a little stingy with the pricing. But I still stand by my point. Silk Song, I think I understand where the critics and complaints are coming from. How could Team Cherry sell such a polished game for such a low price? I mean, I say that sarcastically, because I'd say for the price it's worth, hey, it's affordable and everybody can enjoy it. Well, unless you're a rage quitter, because otherwise, yeah, I would say, nah, then Silk Song would not be your game. You most likely just refund the game on Steam or something after 1 hour. If you can't even handle it. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I had my moments where I was like a little mad, but not mad like Dark Souls new player mad, where I would chuck my controller. More like, dang, I made a mistake. Oh, why is this? Why are the bosses so like persistent and they know how to, they can read my next move. But then, you know, as an afterthought, after beating any kind of difficult boss I had struggled with, I'm like, of course, because it's intentional. Team Cherry, they play tested the game, so I imagine that was intended. The bosses are meant to know what to do when you're in a certain position. Which is pretty much just like, yeah, again, like Dark Souls. Like, you know, if you're far away, of course, bosses will shoot projectiles. They'll do like some long range attack. Silk Song does that too. You're up in the air too long? Oh yeah, then of course the boss is gonna chase you down with some projectile or a high jump. So yeah, understandable. It's meant to be that way. You don't want a simple boss that just does the same pattern, like your typical Super Mario Brothers. You want bosses that play smart, be smart. Otherwise, you know, where's the challenge? For at least what the game's worth. Anyways, yeah, so I'm just kind of giving Silk Song a rest. I probably just like I'll probably go back and find more crests and items and whatever I'm missing. But yeah, because yeah, after what I've just experienced in the final boss, the true final boss in Act 3, yeah, definitely need a break. Again, I haven't had a game that made me feel so hyped, excited, on edge. And I did that all around like midnight. No, sorry, past midnight actually. It was one of those cases where I gotta finish this. I know I can finish it. No matter how many retries I have to do, I know I can do it. But it's pretty crazy how speedrunners are actually managed to beat the boss at such low health with very little items, not even using the best crest. Heck, somebody has already made a speed run, 100% speed run, and finished Silk Song in under 3 hours. And then true speed run, when you're not going for 100, somebody managed to beat Silk Song in just under an hour. I imagine through glitches and some other speedruns where they do it without glitching. But I think it was intended. Because I'm sure Silk Song devs are, you know, I imagine they're fans of Castlevania and Metroid. And you know, Metroid is always known for having speed runs. I mean, I've done that with Zero Mission and Dread. Zero Mission, I feel like I've done a speed run of that game for like more than 50 times, and it feels satisfying to do. And they say single player games don't have replayability. Well, speedrunners will tell you otherwise. But yeah. Can't wait for whatever comes next from Team Cherry. If we get another Hollow Knight sequel with a new character, yeah. I'm ready. I'll be ready for it. I'll be waiting. And actually, at the meantime, I think without a shadow of a doubt, I'll probably pick up Hollow Knight as well. It's gonna feel a little reversed, though, considering that Silk Song is more a little techy than Hollow Knight. But nah, I think I can make do. If I survive Silk Song, how bad could the original game be? Yeah, well, probably hard, because I know that game has its own gauntlet of challenges. And speaking of which, Silk Song does have a game mode when you beat the game once. Like, it doesn't matter which ending you get. Apparently, you can do something called Steal Mode, where it's permadeath. I haven't experienced it yet, but I'm like, really? A permadeath playthrough of Silk Song? That's crazy. I mean, speedrunners have already proven they can do it, but sheesh, considering what I just said about bosses predicting your moves, and not only bosses, but even the terrains, obstacles like spike hazards, lava. How does one persevere through permadeath mode for a game that could last more than 30? For me, it was like 36 hours. Most of that time was just me circling around trying to find stuff, because sometimes the game doesn't really tell you where the objective is. You actually have to find some side quests be like you have to find an ingredient, but they don't tell you where it is. You have to figure it out based on the names that it kind of hints at you. But yeah, 30 plus hours for me, at least. Although when I went for the regular ending in Act 2, I think that was like 8 hours? Or was it 18? I think it might have been 18. 8 or 18. And, of course, there's also some secret endings. One of which, though, is really hard to do. But I'm not gonna say, although I'm sure spoilers are already there on the internet, but yeah. Anyway, so I would still recommend Silk Song to anybody who hasn't picked it up yet. It's a challenging game, very well polished, great characters, and again, very, very affordable. And now coming back here, yeah, can't wait for the next chapter for ZZZ. And we only have to wait 11 days. Just a few more, just another week and a half-ish till the next update. And then, whatchamacallit, I think the story for ZZZ will meet 2 new members of Spook Shack. It's going to be a hefty update because it's going to be 3 characters. Minato, the big burly man of Spook Shack, will finally be playable. And also affordable, since he'll be an A-rank agent. And just like that, Hoyoverse style, whatchamacallit, Hoyoverse already showcased their next 3 characters. One that I just encountered while I was just doing the story. What was our faction called again? Shoot, I already forgot. But it was a nice tease. But who is it? The other two members. I forgot what weapon she wields. I'm assuming a hand. She just fights with her fists or something. And then there's some other guy that looks like a mix of Zenyatta and that big robot burly robot from Overwatch combined. So yeah, gonna be very interesting. We got an interesting lineup. Ones that are coming up soon, and the others that Hoyoverse teased. And I'm sure polychromes will be saved, or you know, whale players will be ready to open up their wallets. like I was just thinking of a SpongeBob meme or something. Anyways, what else happened? Oh, while it's not well, I was gonna say good news, everyone, but it's really bad, and I'm sure you may have heard of it already. Microsoft did the thing that they at first were going to do it, but then fans says no, don't do it. Microsoft then pulled back, but it looks like nope, now they're doing it. They had a video, and the audacity they even had to say it. We listened to the feedbacks and we heard your cry, so we're gonna hike up the price on the Xbox Game Pass. But hey, don't worry, you get benefits. Like now there's like some sort of point system, depending on which subscription tier list you have. Essential, core, essential will now be combined. What feedback? That's what I want to know. What we didn't give any feedback. But you know what and people were like roasting and say the feedback isn't from us, it's from Microsoft's investors. Investors just want more money. So how do you do that? Oh, you know, yeah, hike up the price on the subscription. So yeah, core and essential apparently are going to be combined. And they're only gonna for essential you're only gonna get 50 games, and for a total of 1 year you get 25,000 points in which you can use to just redeem to buy one game, I think, just one or something like that. Whereas the highest tier list, Game Pass Ultimate, it'll be the 250,000 points a year, and of course, yeah, endless amounts of games, and you know, the day one release games and all that sort. But you want to know what the price is for a year to have Game Pass Ultimate? Well, I actually haven't seen it myself, and I'm afraid to, because someone made a joke, a roasting joke. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to look it up just to see if that joke really does line up. Hang on. It's going to, the price I'm going to be looking at, though, will be in Canadian. So, mind you, if you're living in the US or Europe, it's a different pricing. Especially for third world countries. Hang on. So, let me see. Price increase. Yeah, thanks, Google. Yes, I know. Well, at least Game Pass Ultimate is still $20 a month if you buy the prepaid codes. Yeah, by going to your local grocery stores or whatever. But yeah, later it's going to be $30 a month. How about annual? No, that's not it. No, that's core. Maybe I can just go to the official website. Let's see. I don't think the price tag has been affected yet. Alright, let's see here. Oh no, here it is. No, they already implemented the benefits, so which means the price hike may have already happened. It only shows per month, but let's see. No, wait, I don't think that's gonna work. I was gonna calculate that, but I think even if I calculate it, it might be different. But let's see, actually. Let me multiply that. So that was Canadian price though, so times 12. Holy shit, if you wanted to pay Game Pass Ultimate per month for 12 for the whole year, my calculator says you would have to pay a total of $407.88. And what's that? What is that like? Oops, what the? What is that like for US dollars? What the? Something's wrong with my keyboard. 88. $292. Oh, okay, never mind. So the joke doesn't line up. The joke was somebody in the comments says, when I wanted Xbox 360 to come back, I didn't mean $360. I guess, but yeah, I mean that's what it says on the converter. But anyways, yeah. So after that happened, you want to know what happened next? The Microsoft Store, the website crashed. But it was not the good kind of crash. Because it turns out people went to the website to cancel their subscription on Game Pass. That's why the website crashed. You remember all those digital storefronts like the eShop and Steam, they would crash because a game or DLC would be like, everybody would have cause heavy traffic just to pre-order, download a game that comes out on day one, shadow dropped. Like, you know, the Joker, Smash Brothers Joker, or hell, Silksong, if we're talking about recent events. Silksong caused Steam to crash. It even caused the eShop to crash. I think PlayStation Store and Microsoft Store were fine. But that kind of event is always like a good sign, you know? But after Microsoft did their attempt to try to hype up something, it did the opposite. And I'm sure Microsoft people who's managing the Microsoft Store, I bet now they're feeling it. They're like, oh shit, this is not the kind of website crash we wanted. We thought, because you know, they thought people would buy. They thought people would pay $300 a year for Game Pass Ultimate for those extra benefits, and just to play EA and Ubisoft games for free. No, people didn't go there to pay to buy or upgrade their subscription. They actually went to refund it, or refund and cancel. And no, Microsoft so far has not made any kind of response. The website is fixed though, at least that's one thing. Good for them. But yeah, after that, people were like saying, okay, yep, that's it. Microsoft has no idea what they're doing. And gaming is dying. And you know what? I'm not gonna deny it. I think it kind of is. I mean, mostly specifically coming from the big heads out there. I mean, look, even first Sony upped the price for their PlayStation Plus. Nintendo decided to, well, you already know what happened with the Switch 2 and all their first-party games. And now Microsoft is chiming in on the price hiking thing with not their games, but rather their subscription. So basically, and the irony is that because they decided to change the first tier as Game Pass Essential, that's clearly straight up from Sony, because Sony called theirs PlayStation Plus Essential, which is the same name as the basic subscription, where all you get is online, cloud saves, the online multiplayer, cloud saves, and discounts. That's it. And oh yeah, free games per month. Yeah, very original Microsoft. But at the very least, there are some devs. There are still some games out there being made by either unknown developers or indie developers. You know, there's still some rare gemstones of games out there you could still pick up and play and enjoy. And yeah, despite the pricing of today's games, like certain companies, again, like Sonic Racing, yeah, at least they still make a good game. And then, you know, Sega still has like other games coming out. They just announced Yakuza and whatchamacallit. Apparently there's another project from RGG Studios. And then there's Virtua Fighter. Hey, Virtua Fighter. Think how much that's gonna cost when it comes out. Oh, speaking of Virtua Fighter, there's gonna be an open beta test for the Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, I think that's what it's called. The latest edition for VF5. I think it's happening soon, or I think it's already happening now. But it's only an online stress test, so there's no offline as far as I know. No training mode. They just want you to jump into play online, give feedback, and then RGG will do their thing. Fix the game before release, which is, I think, October 15. Funny though, that they're doing an open beta just weeks before the game officially comes out. But hey, it's only $15. Yeah, because, you know, to be fair, it's just the same game with balance adjustments. The final boss being playable. I think it has rollback netcode, right? They said. I mean, that's why they're doing the stress test. And and updated new graphics. So yeah, if you want to try out the open beta, I think you can download the game now, I think. Yeah, I think you can, because I looked it up this morning when I saw the news. But again, it's online only. So unless you're like me, yeah, online fighting games, I don't do well with them. And especially for the kind of game that Virtua Fighter is. I assure you, I will get smacked against the wall or get ring outs before even getting KO'd. Anyway, so yeah, Microsoft, good job. They think they're doing something great by giving players some redeemable points, but nah, man. They should just go with what I wish I could suggest to them. Just give us the cheapest tier list where all we want is just online play and that's it. I don't care about the free monthly games. Cloud saving, maybe. But just give us the lowest tier list possible where You're only paying for the online multiplayer. And I think everybody would just be fine with that. And if they want a subscription-based game, okay, that option's there. If they're willing to shell out $300 per year, but it doesn't have to always be a year. You can just stick to like 3 months, 1 month, whatever. But yeah, no, thank you. But at the very least, live service games don't need those. I mean, you can still play Halo Infinite without Game Pass and still have fun. So that's good. Same thing with Genshin Impact. The co-op, it's all free. The only thing you pay for in live service games are just the microtransactions. And that's it. But what game companies, the big heads specifically, don't get is why their live service games suck, while others, especially like the East Asian games, why are their live service games doing well? Well, it shouldn't be rocket science to them when they just have to look at something like Genshin. I mean, okay, well, Genshin is not really a good excuse at this point because people like to roast it. Just look at Wuthering Waves. Just look at this game. And then they might get an idea. Or they might get the idea, but then they'll be like, but it's not our style. Let's just throw in something expensive in there. And we can't do monthly updates. Are you crazy? Well, yeah, I question about Hoyoverse's like development time. Like, how are they able to deliver new content every month? I mean, yeah, they have a divided team. Genshin team, Honkai team, ZZZ team, and yet, at least ZZZ, they get like 2.5. For each banner, it's like 2.5 weeks long, so they give themselves a little bit of time. But they still, regardless, they still provide updates every month, which is still crazy to me. And I'm like, how are they doing that? How could they do that? Don't they ever run out of steam? I'm sure few folks there would probably feel a little stressed. Because imagine having to deal with deadlines. Except for that one time during the pandemic when Genshin, they actually had to delay their next update. Remember that? I don't recall, but maybe the banner at the time, it was Ayaka. And then the Genshin community were like saying, Ayaka is eternal, because that was pretty much the main story for Inazuma. You know, like Raiden Shogun trying to find eternity. And Ayaka banner was extended indefinitely due to the pandemic, where, you know, game developers couldn't work at their offices. They had to work at home. And I feel like because of that, they probably had all the spare time in the world to like think of future updates or polishing. And you know what? I think at least maybe that time, I'm hoping they got a bit of a breather. But then, of course, after the pandemic restrictions were lifted, I imagine they went back straight to... I mean, yeah, they went straight back to the monthly updates. All in all, I'm just saying they better take it easy. If they have to delay an update, I'd be fine with that. Even if... Because you know what that means? You get to save more Primo Gems. I mean, yeah, that's what a lot of people did. Or, you know, at the very least, whale players be like, oh, okay, I got C6 Ayaka, I don't need to spend more, I'll just save some Primo Gems. But, you know, it's a breather, especially for free-to-play players, you know. But yeah, I'm not saying every live service game should do that. That again, that's asking way too much. Developers just have to go at a pace at their own, but at the same time, you know, if they are willing to provide excellent content, consistent updates, then yeah, they have to have a nice workflow that works for them and also works for the gamers that wait for the next update. I mean, hey, I guess Halo Infinite is another example. The updates don't come out that consistent compared to Hoyoverse, sure. But, hey, at least now, to this day, Infinite finally became the game that it was meant to be. They brought back Forge. They improved the Forge UI. Now it has like a wheel you can actually select, rather than popping up a menu and looking through 1,000 folders. Which is why I said back then, when Forge first came out, you know, you had to play it on PC. They brought back firefights. They brought some classic maps. You can now search community maps. Look up servers. And I heard that I heard that Halo Studios is actually going back to Master Chief Collection for the PC at least, just to fix all the issues, because the game, depending on who you ask, it's not fully optimized. Yeah, I know, even to this day, they didn't have time to go back to MCC to fix the PC issues. But hey, at least now they're doing it. PC Master Race, you should have just gotten an MCC on Xbox when it came out. But yeah. But still, the future of Halo is clearly unknown. Especially the current state of Microsoft. Of whatever the hell they're doing. They even had to cancel Perfect Dark a second time. I just recently heard about that. Apparently Perfect Dark was about to be resurrected, but then just died the next day. Because clearly the game was going nowhere, and most of the devs got fired. Because I guess whatever they were cooking at the time was not, again, it wasn't working. And basically Microsoft had to shut it down. They wasted millions, again, on another franchise that they still can't even figure out. Well, at least we still have the Gears of War prequel game that is in Judgment. What was it called? E-Day or something, right? With the return of Marcus Phoenix and Dom. Hopefully we see a lot of good things coming out of that. Because, you know, Xbox players really need something. They really need an exclusive game. You know what? No, Microsoft in general needs exclusivity. Because slowly but surely people are just like, are still asking the question, what's the point of buying an Xbox? Because now the exclusives are coming to other consoles, and you know, now they're even coming to PC where it's better optimized there. Well, except for MCC. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, again, Gears of War, what was it, Reloaded came out on PlayStation. Before you know it, Microsoft might throw the ball and pass it to Nintendo and say, hey, you get a Gears of War. And then it's like, okay, then, again, why does Xbox exist then? The day Master Chief Collection comes to PlayStation, that's it. No, it's over. There is no console war. And even though I've always I always brush it off and say there is no console war, it's all just fanboy and community stuff. But you know, in hindsight, I think a console war is needed. But not in the rage inducing way. In a way, you know, where there's competition, because that's what you need in business. It's what made Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft grew back then. They were the big three head honchos that were bumping heads at each other. And you know what we got out of that? We got good consoles and we got good exclusive games. They gave consumers a reason to buy those consoles. It gave me a reason. Back then for me, you know, I bought GameCube, PS2, and then I didn't ask for it, but I mentioned it. My uncle got me an Xbox. But I was like, okay, hooray, more exclusives for me. I get to play Halo and Doom 3 before playing Doom 3 on PC. And I got to play Half-Life 2 on the original Xbox when I couldn't even play it on PC. There was it, and yeah, Half-Life 2 for consoles, it was exclusive to Xbox. So again, there was reasons. There was reasons to own those consoles. And now it's like, why do we need them now? When you could just pirate them, or just get one console, because now they're becoming multi-platform. Ninja Gaiden 4, despite being developed by or funded by, not developed, funded by Xbox Game Studios, it's coming to PlayStation and PC. Why not on Switch? I don't know. And then other excuses like MLB The Show. I'm guessing the reason why that became multi-platform, because the MLB, yeah, Sony doesn't own it. The MLB, I guess they decided to demand Sony to release their franchise into multiple consoles. And so every now and then, whenever you boot up MLB The Show on Xbox or Switch, you're going to see that PlayStation Studios logo. And the same thing with Ninja Gaiden 4 soon. You're gonna, every time you boot up the game, which for me, I'm gonna get the game on PlayStation, and I'm gonna see that Xbox Game Studios, and I'm gonna be like, wait, I thought I had I thought I booted up my PS5. It's like, oh wait, no, wait, right. It's a Xbox published game. But yeah, competition is needed. It has, and yeah, of course, again, it has to be a healthy one. You don't want it to be too toxic. Being friendly is nice, but then that kind of strays away the point of exclusivity. Like what it is now today. Not the good. Anyways, enough Doom yapping. The good stuff? Let's see. Whatchamacallit? See, Viper is looking really hot. You know, honestly, I honestly wasn't thinking of Sea Viper making a comeback to be in CF6. But, you know, as an afterthought, I guess that really makes sense. She was definitely a fan favorite. Hell, I mean, she even made it to MVC3, if you remember, because I clearly... I mean, yeah, of course, people would tend to forget that Sea Viper was in MVC3, because who plays a Sea Viper when you can just choose Virgil, Doctor Doom, Zero, you know. In fact, you know, I kind of question if Sea Viper even had any, like, infinite combo potential in MVC3. But yeah, for her to come back in CF6, SF, wow, did I say CF? My lips are toying with me. It's SF. SF6, yeah, for her to come back to Street Fighter 6, yeah. It's a good start for the new season. Oh wait, no, Seth was, no, not Seth. Was it? No, not Seth. Sagat, right? Yeah. Sagat was the first character, right? And then Sea Viper is second, right? And then the third is gonna be, what's his face? not Charlie. No, Charlie is Guile's brother. What's his name again? Oh, right, Alex. And then the forgotten character that only showed up in one Capcom game. Ingrid, I think. Yeah, I think it was Ingrid. She only showed up in the worst fighting game, Capcom Fighting Evolution or something like that. Really funny choice, though. I mean, it would have been more bizarre if they brought back the dinosaur from Fighting Evolution. But sure. 2 males, 2 females. Balance it. And then, of course, somewhere in between, more costumes for the Avatar character and less for the main cast. Which people are still not fond of. People want more costume alternatives for the main characters. They don't want they don't want more of the Avatar getting all the good stuff. I don't know. I mean, if you look at Bandai Namco, Soul Calibur 6, or hell, Tekken 8. I don't know, people... Well, no, actually, no. Tekken 8 doesn't have custom characters. I was just thinking of, like, the same lines of, like, customizable outfits. But, yeah, no. Not the same. Not the same thing. But yeah, Soul Calibur 6, most of their outfits were just... The game just became, like, a fashion show. But in a good way, because... You know, I've seen a lot of really creative character, custom character designs. It's crazy the free customization that the game gives you. But yeah, I guess it's not the same effect with SF6. Anyways, what else is there? What other good stuff? Hang on. Excuse me. Ghost of Yote has officially come out. I'm just waiting for some feedback on the real gamers. See what they have to say about it. Can you believe we're already in October? I swear, I feel like September went by really quickly. Already in the new month. For some reason, Stellar Blade had a new free update, but it's honestly, I would say it's a really nice new, a cute little update. If I wanted to be honest. Anyways, yeah, oh, okay, Hatsune Miku Festival is happening today for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Special items including titles and decals. It's only gonna last until the 5th. World match will not be available. Oh, I see how it is, Sega. So when a festival happens, you can't even... There's no option to go back to playing the regular online. They should have had both. They better change that in the future. Because what if people eventually get tired of the festival and they just want to go straight to regular online? Sega, come on! I mean, it's just like Splatoon. You know, you have Splatfest, but if you don't want to do Splatfest, or you're done for the day for Splatfest, you could just go back to rank battles. At least Splatoon had an option for that. Anyways, Hatsune Miku. Yeah, what was this? I said something earlier. Shit. Yeah, I saw it on Twitter. Now I already forgot. Oh yeah, right. Stellar Blade. The update. It's a nice, cute one, where if you go back, it's like a new mini quest. They give you basically 3 passwords that you have to write, input backwards. But as for clues on how to get to the location, they did not specify that. You had to like find that out yourself. So because of that, I had to look up on YouTube videos to find out where I had to input the password. And then yeah, I found it, and right off the bat there is a new outfit. It's free. But inside the room that you find is basically the developer's room. Well, more or less. You get to see like the company Shift Up's logo. You see like concept art on the wall, promotional posters, a little behind the scene notes by the devs, like their day-to-day stuff, what things that happened during development, like how one time their office had no power by accident. And one of the characters, Raven, despite turning into a loony, crazy woman and becoming the hardest boss I ever fought, apparently Shift Up learned that people had an interest in Raven, and I guess Shift Up are trying to do like a wink wink nudge nudge kind of thing, like saying they might have some use for the character. So my guess is, besides the Stellar Blade 2, maybe they'll do like some kind of prequel that has the character Raven, what her time on Earth was like before she decided to turn evil and crazy. I mean, yeah, she lived long enough to become a villain to find out the truth, or just get greedy. But yeah, good for Shift Up that they're taking consideration on a character that has potential. And then there was like some funny, interesting facts about during one of their developer notes was that during playtesting, because since the game has like, you know, a lot of costumes, and each of the costumes actually change the character's Eve's physique, so much so that even her buttocks, the size of her buttocks would change. And they would notice this when they noticed this when one of the developers noticed that her butt was clipping through the chair. So in the developer's room, there was this sort of like plank hanging by the wall, and it looked like 2 furry butt cheeks, and I was like, what is that? So I interact with it, and then that's when I read that note. And yeah, again, like I said, the devs had too much fun where they would suit up Eve in various costumes and see which ones would clip through the chair. And yeah, some of them would have her cheeks completely no clips through them. I don't know if you can. Maybe in photo mode you might be able to see it, but yeah. Nice, interesting facts. Hey, yeah, don't forget. Keep in mind the characters, the main character, Eve especially. She is modeled after an actual Korean modeler. Where I think you might have seen it a long time ago during the early development. Stellar Blade Shift Up used a 3D model scan. They had a they brought in a famous modeler to be the one to take shape for Eve's character design. And yeah, of course, the reactions blew up in both good ways and, well, the controversial way. But you don't need to worry about the controversial. It wasn't really controversial. It was just some folks thinking that's terrible. Why would you use a naked model to make your video game? Oh yeah? Maybe they should be asking that to every model that sells your clothing stores. Especially Victoria's Secrets. I mean, come on. You've seen Victoria's Secrets. Like anytime you go to a mall, you see all those model posters. Yeah. What are they wearing? And look, they're literally showing them wearing undergarments in pub. And yeah, the giant posters are just right there out in the public's eye. How is that any different with scanning a 3D actual model to scan your 3D video game character model? No different. And don't get me started about the Renaissance days when sculptors would, or Renaissance artists be like, draw me like one of your French girls. So. And as an artist myself, every now and then I would like look at other people's fan art, their work, and then be like, women anatomy is really interesting. They're not always the same. Some have thick thighs, some have thin legs, and guys too. Guys could just be flat as a board, and then the muscular ones are like their whole body is shaped like a pyramid. Or like an inverted pyramid. And then of course the thing that swings around. There's big ones and small ones. As God's image of humans was made as he intended. But yeah, as an artist myself, yeah, anatomy is a very interesting topic that I had to like always research. And I guess that's no different when I'm looking at characters in video games. But it's like, huh. I didn't know women could bend backwards that far. But then again, yeah, I've seen like I don't know, circus acrobatic people. They can bend their whole spine all the way around, and I'm like, dang. Talk about flexibility. Anyways, what else is there? I'm still looking forward to see the responses of what Pokemon ZA is gonna be like, especially the Switch 1 port. The fact that the Switch 1 port is even gonna be a thing. Excuse me. How do you think the game's gonna perform on Switch 1? We've already seen plenty of footage of Switch 2, but yeah, I don't think it should come as a shock when I just realized that they never showed footage of what the Switch 1 port looks like. They've only been showing the Switch 2 footages. Which makes sense because yeah, Nintendo's going out there to convince people to just buy a Switch 2. But then, you know, if you're not gonna bother to show how the game's gonna run on Switch 1, it should have been a Switch 2 exclusive game, no? I mean, as far as I know, isn't Age of Imprisonment only a Switch 2 game? You know, I think, you know, it's such a shame though. Like, while Platinum no longer has the ownership for Astral Chain, now it's an official Nintendo IP because Nintendo bought it off from them. You know, I think Nintendo could give Astral Chain a Switch 2 optimization upgrade. As of now, you won't have any frame dips anymore. It just remains 40, which is good. It's fine. But I think it could do a little better. I mean, hey, Bayonetta 3 didn't need an update, and on Switch 2, it runs at a clean 60. No drips, just completely locked. So I kind of wonder, why can't Astral Chain get that too? Astral Chain needs an upgrade. And then, of course, the Pokemon games too. All of the Pokemon games got the 60 FPS. And no extra charge. Because yeah, it was just an update. And then Smash Brothers, they only threw in an update where they had to fix something. And yeah, no, the game now is at 60 locked in. Because yeah, apparently the only time Smash Brothers ever drops frames is when you're playing 8-player Smash with all the players being ice climbers. Where the frames actually dip at like 56 or something, 53. And yeah, you probably wouldn't notice it with all the chaos happening. But yeah, Nintendo, if they really need convincing to get people to buy a Switch 2, all they need is one game that needs an optimization. Or hell, I would even go for a deluxe edition. Smash Brothers, obviously. And then, you know, announce more characters and maybe another season pass. I know that sounds absurd, but that's, I mean, Mario Kart 8 had that. We thought the game was done when the game was ported on Switch. But then they were like, nah, let's throw in DLCs and characters. And then you get a total of 96 courses to work with, which is crazy. And I think that's a bigger number than Mario Kart World has. And at least Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has a better battle mode that you could definitely enjoy. Because Nintendo made the same stunt again. They made battle mode for World, but it's boring, and all they did was take a section of one of those tracks and turn it into a battle mode, battle arena. And yeah, do I have to remind you what battle mode was like in the original Mario Kart 8? You get to play balloon battle on Moo Moo Meadows. I tried it, and I can confidently tell you it was shit. And heck, the battle mode in Deluxe was great. You had more than balloon battle and coin battle. You had bomb-oms, renegade ops, and Star Shine Runner. Shine Runner. What happened to those? Oh well. But yeah, I mean that's my opinion. I'd say Nintendo, if they use a little bit of their brain cells, they would probably ask Sakurai come back to do Smash Brothers Ultimate again. But don't worry, we'll cover the cost for all the third-party characters again. Because we need the Switch 2 to sell. And if I'm not mistaken, Smash Brothers Ultimate was not only the best-selling Switch game, but the best-selling fighting game that managed to surpass all of the versions of Street Fighter 2. And Smash Brothers got 5 awards at the Japanese Game Awards, so you know, I think they could do it again. And you know what? Maybe another adaptation of Smash Brothers Ultimate could give Sakurai and Nintendo more rewards, because yeah, they could get a award even for releasing the same game, but with extra content. Because there's one game that did that, but rather than getting an award, they were awarded with a Genesis World Record, and that game was Warriors Orochi for Ultimate. Koei Tecmo. When that game came out, they broke the record for the most playable characters in a beat-em-up game, with 149 characters, I think. And yeah, Koei Tecmo, they were awarded with the certificate and plank. And yeah, I say Ultimate, yeah, because yeah, you have to remember that was the Ultimate Edition. The original only had less than that, 120 or something. And then they just slapped in a couple more characters, and then suddenly the Genesis gang was like, hey, there's a game that broke the record, or made a new record, let's go. Fly to Japan, go to Koei Tecmo office, check out this game or whatever, and oh boy, look at all these characters. All right, let's give them a big award, picture and all. So, yeah, Smash Brothers could get another award if they tried. And you know, it'll be a win for us gamers too. We'll go back to Smash. Maybe there will be rollback netcode, more characters, more villains to play as, a proper boss battle mode rather than having that be exclusive to Sephiroth, more stages, more music. Yeah, that'll be great. And it would sell. Although, people would definitely still argue about the price tag, for sure. Or better yet, well, if you don't own Smash Bros. Ultimate. But, you know, if you already own it, then all you need to do is just pay like 15, 20 bucks for an upgrade, and then there you go. The rest you pay for is just future DLC characters. And yeah, like I said, it could still be considered a win. It may have worked for Mario Kart, but I'm not saying... Actually, you know, like, as much as I say in such confidence that it could work for Smash Bros. Ultimate, I'm sure there's going to be some caveats, because when there's good, there's always something bad, negative. Even if it's just a little... even the smallest little negative could still be a bit of a hindrance, but at least that usually gets overshadowed by the positives. Although, yeah, I can't say that for Nintendo's first-party games. Like, you would love and enjoy Donkey Kong Bonanza, because I know I would. But at what cost? Well, yeah, $100. Does this orange cat has a thingy on the tail? Below the tail? Yes. Yes, a butthole and jewel balls. Amazing. But there's no fur texture. It looks like it's just jiggly clay. Give them some black stripes and you get yourself a Garfield. Except Garfield with X-hole. Speaking of mods, there's actually some mods in this game. Somebody had I don't know which character it was, but the character was replaced by Hatsune Miku. and then another character was replaced with one of the characters from Uma Musume. I guess that should come no surprise, considering that the same thing already did happen years ago with Genshin. Although I haven't seen any for Honkai. Genshin could never? Oh yeah, well Honkai Star Rail could never have mods. What color are the eyes of this cat? I can't keep up with it. It's not even green, it's orange too. I would have gone for the variety. But, oh well, he's chunky. That's all that matters. He's a chunky boy. My cousin has an orange cat, but he's always afraid. He's always afraid of large crowds, so he never comes downstairs. Go see the mods for Sonic Cross Worlds. Oh no. Am I gonna see Uganda Knuckles? Or the usual Sonic or Sonic.exe. I wouldn't be surprised if those exist already right now. Or the weakest character of them all, Infinite. More like skin mods. Yeah, that's what I mean. Or no, it's skins. So like different outfits, rather than rather than whole character models, right? Honestly, I still don't understand about skin palettes in fighting games. But, you know, after going through other past fighting games, like I had to every now and then whenever I go back to play some classic fighting games and cycle through color panels, I think I understand where people are coming from. Why people do enjoy color palettes. I mean, yeah, Smash Brothers is also one of those examples. At first, to me, it was like, they're just color palettes. But then it's like, okay, well, how about... Excuse me. Then I thought, okay, maybe I should go to my favorite characters and see what they would look like with different colors. And then yeah, it hit me. It was like, oh, of course, yeah, the character looks very different when they are a brunette or a blonde or go for the bleach white hair. Yeah, now I get it. It's the hair that mostly sells on it. And Skullgirls, especially Skullgirls, their color palettes are clearly references to other fighting game characters, or not even non-fighting game characters. So yeah, I get it. I take back what I said. I now understand color palettes. I apologize to the world and to the FGC. I now understand color palettes. But what I don't understand is why would game developers charge you money just to make all the character palettes unlock a gold edition? Yeah, no thank you. I'm good with whatever the bases are. And then looking back on Street Fighter V, remember how you had to unlock color palettes in that game? 50 rounds in survival mode to get just one color. 50 in survival mode for one. And you have to do that with every single character. Now, if you told me that they actually changed that in the later versions or the future updates, okay, then yeah, at least they learned. At least Capcom learned. But at the time, ugh, that's disgusting. Nobody plays a fighting game to play survival mode just to unlock one color. Sonic's voice replaced with the old voice actors. Oh wow, they take in all the... I'm guessing a click and drag sort of thing. Some modder probably surfaced up some sound clip files from past Sonic games on PC and put them into Sonic Cross World. I don't know how modding and hacking works, but I imagine that's how it is. Yeah, voice clips from past games. Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's not too far fetched. Like I feel like that's a mod that modders can definitely easily transfer over. Except, I guess, I mean, I would take that over AI. Because I feel because AI just sounds soulless. And any other software app where I know some people would use AI voices, like there's one in for Team Fortress 2, they call it, I think they call it 15.AV or something like that, where it would be an AI voice where it tries to it attempts to replicate the mercenaries' voices. But whenever I listen to those voices, sure, on one half it does sound just like the characters, like Heavy Weapons Guy, Spy, and Engineer. But the problem is that the other half, they sound like they have raspy voice. And then they all ended up, and then when all the characters speak, it kind of like sounds like only the Heavy or the Sniper, everybody's talking like the Heavy and the Sniper with that raspy voice. And I'm like, nah, that ain't it. That's not it, Chief. And even worse, you know, AI, it's not perfect. I wouldn't go for that. Again, to me, it sounds soulless. There's no proper voice behind it, because you know it's not. There's no human being saying the lines. So yeah, like I said, I would take voice clips from past games. That over AI, because at least those past clips, voice clips, are from actual human voice actors. Although I kind of wonder how that's gonna work for the rival lines. Unless the modders like either mute that part, or they do like a mixed audio clip. Like, you know, you would take a various bunch of words and mesh them together into a sentence, and make the voice clip sound like the previous the old voice actor with that line, like a mixtape, I want to say. I mean, I've seen like some people do that in Gmod videos, and Source Filmmaker. They would take voice samples and mix them up into a sentence. And yeah, every now and then it works. And it's over the years, Source Filmmaker videos have improved. People have been improving on the dialogue mixing. Although I don't imagine that would be easy for Sonic Cross Worlds. Again, at least only when it comes to the rival interactions. But nonetheless, at least yeah, there's some good mods here and there. Did I already do this? Oh no, I need to do the main story. The agent story, right. Everything else though, yeah, pretty much more or less done. Only a few more days. Each day, 7-day login. Oh yeah, Genshin is also doing their 7-day login. So I hope you checked your inboxes because the last four days they've been giving out thank you commemorative thank you mails to Genshin players around the world. 4 mails with 400 Primo Gems inside them, which is a total of 1,600. So that's like 10 free polls you can do. That plus the 7-day login, so that'll be an extra 20. What's in the Genshin anniversary? Yeah, like I said, they're right now, as of now, they're doing the 7-day login, where they'll give you intertwined fates. In fact, might as well open that up. Hang on a sec. I mean, they technically already did like they already gave out some anniversary stuff ahead of time, like how you could that one event where you can choose any of the 5-star characters of your choice. That one was like earlier in September, wasn't it? I assume next week. Yeah, next week, because tomorrow's Friday. So next week, sometime next week, they're going to announce the Genshin special program. And you know what that means? Redemption codes! And character previews, drip reveals. But I'm sure people are more interested in the drip reveal. It's like, yeah, we now know the character's coming out, but who's next in line? Who indeed? Well, leakers would tell you. Anyway, so yeah, there's the 7-day login, which is this. September 28, you will receive 4 pieces of mail, yeah, which I mentioned earlier. So yeah, there's a 7-day login. 1, 3, 3, 5, and then another 5. So yeah, that's 10 polls. And you, as of now, you have until 18 days and 7 hours. But you just need to log in the game 7 days, and that's it, just to get each reward after another. And then yeah, again, check your inboxes. 4 pieces of mail will come to you. And as far as I know, I think they only expire until like a whole year or 30 days, you know. And then this is still happening. This is also part of the anniversary, where if you do all your weekly stuff, 5 out of 5, you work your way up from one award to another each week, and then on your final reward, based on your choice, you could choose one of the 5-star characters that you currently own. Either get a new constellation for them. No, not either. I mean, just getting one constellation for them. And then the other anniversary that was, like I said, that was already a thing ahead of the time, was this, where what was it? Like I mentioned before, you get to choose one of the 8 characters of your choice. Only one. And oh yeah, and then you also get a bit of a head start with where the game gives you a couple of ascension materials. So unless you already done this, where again you just freely choose, then yeah, this one's old news. This one, however, if you have not invited a character yet, this thing lasts until when? Oh yeah, same countdown. 18 days, 17 hours. And I think that's it. So there's the 4-piece of mail, the 7-day login, the weekly thing, and then the free 5-star character of your choice. So technically that's like 4 things, you know. Now compare that to ZZZ. I'd say Genshin offered a little bit more. A little. I mean, ZZZ gave you 30 polls, yes. They give you inbox mail all at once. And then they even give you 1 character and 1 S-rank W engine of your choice. You know what, saying that out loud, yeah, I think it was kind of like 50-50. But, you know, you just kind of had to wait it out. Genshin, you had to wait it out because this took a while for it to start. Well, it started yesterday, I mean. But the 4-piece login was like a couple of days ago. So started on September 28th. And then, yeah, this thing, it's not very complicated to do. Bi-weekly progress, all you have to do is just... What was it? All you have to do is just do your 4 daily commissions, spend 120 resins, and then that's it. That 1 piece of weekly is done. So, that being said, Friday. And you get 7 days of a chance to do it. You just have to do it 5 times. Just do it 5 times. You don't have to do it 7 days a week. It's just as long as you do the dailies and spend 120 resins, then this weekly progress bumps up to 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, and then wait until next week. But hey, at least they give you, at least at the end, for each week when you complete them, you get some rewards here and there. And then lastly, actually, how many weeks is this? Actually, now that I think about it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, I cannot count. 8 weeks. Yeah, on the 8th week, assuming that you do your weekly progress here, then you get the extra constellation of the 5-star character of your choice. Again, no, just to clarify, again, this is not a free pick like this one. It's not a free character of your choice like this. It's choosing which 5-star character that you currently have that you want to earn a constellation. Which is why if you look at my roster, the ones that are like shadowed are because I don't have those characters. They're only showing me the ones that I have. So, if you have any of these 5-star characters, this is a good chance for you to give them a constellation. Now, depending on which character you want to have a C1 or whatever C you're at, that is all dependent up to you, because, you know, I don't know what kind of which S rank character, 5-star character you have, or that person has. For me, I would say I want to get Eula, yes, but I still haven't gotten a straight answer. If I got Jean, would I get that thingamajig, that Stella Fortuna thingamajig, where you increase your character's level cap? Because again, you can only get this when a 5-star character's constellation is at C6 and you get a dupe. I mean, it says it there. Aside of wishes, you can obtain this from the event as of now. So maybe? But even if I do, then I only have 3 of these. And you need 2 Masterless Stella Fortuna to level up a character from 90 to 100. Or if you're an even Steven like me, instead of selecting 1 character to be at 100, I could just select 3 characters to be at 95. You know what, saying that out loud, maybe that would be a better option, right? Like, why would you set 1 character to just be level 100 when you can have 3 to be at 95? I mean, as of now, I could just do this right now to 2 characters. But do I? And if I do, who do I give it to? I mean, part of me says, yeah, the Traveler, because story moments, they're going to force you to use the Traveler. But, you know, I feel like the Traveler should be at level 100 by default. Because, you know, how many people even still use the Traveler? I mean, aside of the Dendro variation, because the Dendro variation is considered the best. I mean, part of me says, yeah, why not? If I'm going to level up 2 or 3 characters to be 95, it would just be the Archons. Yeah, that's a tough call. But is it necessary? No. Again, you've seen it all on YouTube for the past 5 years. A lot of people have already broken this game down to half. Broken in half, where tier lists and crit rates and crit damages are off the chart. People have already one-shotted bosses, so I don't think you don't have to do it. It's just that maxing out a character to 100 just gives you bare minimum satisfaction, I guess. I don't know. Like, I guess if you're like struggling with the Imaginarium Theater, I guess you could just use that to give you the slight edge. Oh, it's getting late. It's like 11. Okie dokie. Let me just enjoy beating up these guys. Because I made a discovery. Oh no, I think she's gonna be burned off. Ah, never mind. I can't demonstrate it. But yeah, apparently some of the FOD2 soldiers, you can actually yank their weapons out of their hands. Because their weapons are powered by the moon. But little did they know, you could yank it out and then they're forced to fight with their fist. Which significantly reduces their attack. They go from thousands to only like 100. And I was like, wow, that's sad. It's like, they're not much of a threat anymore. I'm still like in the process of reworking Shinobu. I've been grinding for this one material artifact for 2 weeks now, and each and every passing day, I'm not getting the main stat that I want. But on the bright side, I got a couple. Wait, how many do I have? Didn't I spend a couple of artifacts? Oh no, I still have some that I could use for EXP. So yeah, it's like this is the one I'm looking for, Elemental Mastery, because if you have Shinobu, that is a highly recommended stat build. My original stat was not, well, it was kind of working, but then when I read this part, I don't know why my brain didn't get it all those years, but then when I was looking at it again, it says it there. Whenever you use Shinobu's skill, her healing and damage increases based on her elemental mastery. 25 damage increase, 75% more healing. And then, yeah, it all made sense. Because I was like wondering, why did all the players say use elemental mastery and not healing or HP? And if you know Genshin's mechanic with elemental mastery, what does that mean? If a character's elemental mastery is high, the reaction damage increases significantly, which is beneficial for characters who, well, basically master it, such as mostly Animo characters, because you know Swirl is like a massive AOE reaction, elemental reaction. So, and then there's one character whose elemental mastery isn't not even Animo, but it's just based on her damage. No, it was her shield, I think, right? Her shield is scaled by her mastery. Oh yeah, here it is. Shield absorption scales based on Setali's mastery. And then more other stuff. I have to eat my own words. Remember how I always say make sure to read all these? Yeah. Well, I really should be listening to my own advice. I somehow, my brain couldn't even understand this, but now I get it. And now I get the analysis why it's all elemental mastery. Not electro damage, not HP. Although by increasing HP, Shinobu's healing increases a lot, but no, it's elemental mastery. But I haven't gotten it. That 4-piece set is all I want. And the suckiest part is that, look, the substats suck. I want one that has crit rate and crit damage to be the substats, and I still can't get it. Did I? Next time I think I had this one this morning, but then I threw it out because I had the shittiest substats. But next time I bump into this one, I might as well replace it. Because out of all the pieces that are hard to get for to get specific main stats, it would most likely be these two. Headpiece and the Chalice piece. Chalice, you'll most likely get elemental damage bonuses. But elemental mastery apparently is the most rarest thing. But like I said, at least on the bright side, I don't have to worry about leveling up artifacts, because now I have a bunch of 3-star, 4-stars that I could turn those into EXP sources. Which means by the time Shinobu is done, I can finally get back to Aloy, complete hers. Oh, and then no, I don't think it stops there, because then I thought, you know what? Zhongli, he's been falling behind, very far behind all these 5 years. And it's time that I try to get an understanding what makes him the quote-unquote character that turns Genshin into easy mode. Fortunately, his build is already done. It's all just 8 HP. So, yeah. and his passive skill here. Passive, his damage, his skill, and his ult is scaled by HP. I didn't get it, but now I do. So yeah, for Zhongli, if you have him, for his artifact build, don't go for attack, just go for HP. And then unlock that passive skill. And then that's it. Easier said than done though. I gotta grind. But first things first. Shinobu, artifact. Aloy, artifact. Aloy is not a problem, she's already set, I just need to level up. He could do damage boost? No, he just, by easy mode, what does Zhongli do? I think he just gives you a shield. Yeah. His shield is scaled off of his HP. It does damage. If there are nearby targets with the Geo element, it will drain a large amount of Geo element from a maximum of 2 targets. (150% absorption damage from all elemental and physical damage. Characters protected by the Jade Shield will decrease resistance and physical resistance and small AoE. No, that's it. That's pretty much it. He just gives you a stronger shield, but it's more durable based on how much HP he has, right? Creates a shield of Jade. The shield's damage absorption scales based off of Zhongli's HP. However, on one of his passive skills, the Jade Shield takes damage. It will fortify. Fortify characters have 5% increased shield. It can stack up to 5. So, and it will last until the shield disappears. So yeah, he just protects you. He just gives you the best, I guess, in a way, the best shield in the game. Although, more or less, it's kind of like arguable because other characters who also have their shields scaled based on their HP, it says it could be as durable as Zhongli's, but as far as I know, I think Zhongli is kind of like second rate, maybe first for some. Oh, but the one thing I never mentioned is that his ultimate, he's the only character that can cause petrification. Zhongli is secretly Medusa. So, even though you do have Frozen, but Zhongli is the only character in Genshin that could turn enemies into stone. They cannot move. Yeah, he just throws a giant meteor that turns every enemy into stone. I don't know how effective that is compared to Frozen, but eventually I'm gonna find out. But yeah, like I said, people call him, I don't know about now, but back then they call him the character that turns the game easy mode, because when you have him and his shield, you don't have to worry about taking damage for a while. Still doesn't ignore the fact that you still need a healer in case, you know, if say there's a boss that, you know, nukes the whole arena, because some bosses may do that. Just like that one boss from ZZZ, the one I just fought earlier. You'll never know if there's going to be a boss that's scripted where they can do like a one-shot attack. But in general, like generally speaking, yeah, Zhongli would be your line of defense that protects you. You can just, as soon as he activates his skill, gives you a shield, swap to another character. You don't have to worry for a while. Which is why Zhongli's shield is based on HP. Right? What's the recommendation? Really? Those weapons are not even HP, they're just offensive focus. Okay. Well, whatever they say. I gave him the spear that gives him a little extra HP. I'm not sure about Venti. Do I want to do Venti? I don't really have an interest in him. I'm already fine with the animal characters that I have that can already conduct swirl. So, no, I think Zhongli. I'm just more curious about Zhongli. As for the other male characters, if I ever turn to them, maybe D-Luke? I mean, yeah, his constellation's full because of all the 50-50s I lost. Maybe? Chilled, maybe, but the problem with Chilled is his skill has a 30-second cooldown. He's a bow user, but his skill allows him to dual-wield swords. Hydro swords. But then after that, you have to wait a couple of more seconds before you can do it again. And then this guy, I don't know how you pronounce his name. This guy is basically as what people compare him to, just a Dendro Kaching. His ult literally has the same effect. But I guess there might be more to that. But until then, yeah, no. I guess out of all the male characters, I finally decide to turn my eyes to Zhongli after all these 5 years. Hey, at least I'm also considering Billy for ZZZ. I just need to grind on some Denny's. While Billy is pretty much straightforward, like he doesn't have string of combos, but hey, he's got guns. And in a way, he's like the second face of ZZZ. Remember all those promotional ads? Billy was practically like, yeah, like I said, the second face of the game. And it's funny considering that Ambi was used as the character model for all the characters. Like when it came to playtesting, Hoyoverse, the ZZZ team used Ambi as the basis for all the characters' attack move. So can you imagine Ambi with guns using Billy's moveset? Because that's what they did. Until eventually they were like, okay, this moveset works, now let's design the character who will use said move. Alright. That'll be it for tonight. Let's see, today is Thursday, tomorrow Friday. If I have time tomorrow to stream, then I'll do so. It'll probably just be another chilled stream. Today, at first I was like, I only did like the first bit of the story in ZZZ. And then I was like, yeah, I'm in the mood to stream. I might as well just stream the rest of the story. It's a good thing I did. And yeah, hey, it took me this long to finally do it, only because I was busy grinding. And then, you know, I was hoping that at least maybe one battle segment would allow me to use my build, but no. The entire story just made you use trial characters. Which is still not a bad thing, because, you know, it helps players decide whether or not they want to gotcha for the character. Which in this case is now Orphe. Seed has already passed. But you can still try out Seed in her story if you haven't done it yet, which I have to get to later. If I want to get the award, that 100 polychrome. Aside of that, anything else? No, I think that's it. Yeah. All right. So with that, I will then see you guys in the next stream. You folks have a good day and a good night. See you, folks. Oh, by the way, I have one little in-game picture that I'm gonna post maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow. It's just a little something I had in mind. A little nostalgia. You'll see later. Again, nothing special, but I thought I might as well just share something that's been buzzing in my head for a while. Anyway, all right. See you, folks.